Cloud 2 Wireless.
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you, they was blocking the shine. Now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 wrists. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 Wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing!
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broken, I couldn't acquire 2 cents.
S- Chat. So, guys, what is up, everyone? I believe Tug is having a little bit of technical difficulties, but this is week number 7 of the ECAC series. I believe. But yeah, I believe we are getting that all ready to go. Week 7 between Louisville and Staten Island. This should be a good matchup. Both these teams currently sitting at 5-1, 1 loss apiece. Staten Island, they lost their first game last week. Louisville, they lost it in, I believe, like week 3 or so against Ball State. Not my alma mater, but a hometown college here for myself. So I'm definitely anxiously looking through what they do throughout the season. But Louisville, Staten Island, both good teams. Should be a good matchup today, Tug. How are you feeling? Let's see how what you have to say.
Great here today. The University of Louisville Red Squad coming in here against the College of Staten Island. I do believe you guys can hear me now. I'm really hopeful because I do not want to just be shouting into the void. That would be kind of like an allegory for a futile life or something like that. I don't know. But you have to make sure. Okay, yes, got it. We will be starting this matchup here in just a little minute. Week number 7 can starting now. I do believe you mentioned this as well. College of Staten Island, the Dolphins coming in here 5-1, coming off of a loss last week, Boise State. University of Louisville looking at the same situation record-wise, but not necessarily the same situation with the most recent loss.
Yeah. I do believe Staten Island should be coming in, coming off that loss. It's kind of unfortunate. They lost that one to Boise State. Boise State, we've seen them here on stream before, so they were a tough team. Staten Island, I think, can come back, kind of looking through their previous series that they've had. Bunch of 3-0 sweeps. I mean, a few of them to say the least. So you lose that one. That's unfortunate, but I think they can bounce back. Louisville, they lost that one earlier in the season. Still, they've got a bunch of 3-0, so I think this should be a pretty even matched up. But Staten Island, I'm going to be kind of looking at them to see how they come out in this game 1, because will they be able to bounce back from that loss, or will Louisville come out strong just because they've already got 3 games behind them with wins?
Yeah, I think that it's been enough chronological time, that 7 days or so for this University of Staten Island for the Dolphins to kind of mentally get over a loss, but translating that into game will be a different statement altogether. I think similarly, not going to be a 3-0, not going to be a sweep either way. These two squads firing on all cylinders and coming in here with the same record for an absolute reason.
All right. So with that said, let's see what these teams do have, or what they can bring to the pitch. And so we are waiting for them to take their positions. We're going to take our positions, and game 1 of this best of 5 series will come at you. And if you were to make a prediction, Tug, who are you going to throw out? I'm going to throw out a quick prediction. I am going to go out with Louisville just because they do have so many wins behind their belt. I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Just mascot, really. That's how I'm going to take that one. I think Dolphins are a little bit cooler than Cardinals. Don't have anything against Louisville squad. I think Dolphins are just a little bit cooler, man. They're also incredibly intelligent. They passed the test where they can notice a dot on themselves. I can't remember what it's called. They put it in a mirror or whatever. But hey, that's not why we're here today. Smart play will be on the docket, though, of Staten Island was to take this game. 25 seconds in. Decent open net! And that's going to be Louisville striking first. We're going to call this Rhino.
Definitely. I'm noticing the name right there too. But yes, a good counterattack. He reads it off the backboard. Nobody there. Everybody kind of pushing up from Staten Island. Good read from him. He's able to put the first one on the board. Plenty of time to see what these two teams can do as Drift is going to try to take that one right off the kickoff. And so trying to come back from that little bit of a misstep, you see them kind of pushing back right now, but the passing plays coming out from Louisville, a 1-2-3 right there in the midfield. I'm liking how these plays are starting to develop.
Yeah, and both teams spending a decent amount of time in offense as well. There has not been a wholehearted one-sided time of possession for either of these squads. Mucks to the middle and gets beat there by Rhino. Rhino getting the horn up to this one, janking this off to the right side and getting this offense started against this Staten Island squad. Just like that, trying to make that a non-issue is Ryland for Louisville, pushing this one up. A Rhino hitting this one, centering it up decently, and Matt whiffs all day.
That was a close call, and it's kind of surprising that Staten Island didn't have somebody up there just in case there was that little bit of a calculated whiff to come out from Louisville. Because there's so much time in the game, I would have liked to seen somebody up there to try to, clean up on any misplay, but we do get a little bit of breathing room for Louisville, as this one's gonna go right towards their goal line, and Ryland getting a nice touch. Rhino having to get one more to try to get it out of there, but both squads having some good opportunities after we've already seen that first goal in.
Ooh, 11-10 almost tees off on this one as it comes across. Like you said, only one goal in. Matt possibly abandoning the, I guess it's not an official rule one because they were not locked all the way in, but yeah, you don't respect the age-old rules, and definitely shout it out here on stream. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left in this one. Ryland up, Rhino almost shaking this one in, but Driftsy gets up to it. Little pop play up and over is Matt in their best efforts to keep this on this orange side. Matt hitting this one twice now. Driftsy on the rotation back, 11-10 towards the middle.
That one, Bucks holding down the possession, trying to keep going with the offensive side. Drifty passing this one back out to Mutz, and that was more or less a rotation touch that he wasn't planning for, but good way to stay in the game. Drifty out to 11-10, but 11-10 can't receive it. And so far we've been seeing both squads really push up. They get some opportunity, and then the passing plays or just really the defense for the opponent really stand out, and so they're not able to really capitalize on any type of scoring opportunities. But this one, as I say, it is going to be Staten Island to put the tying goal in at 1:54.
Yeah, so these two teams tied up 1-1, tied up in shots attempted as
touch
well.
Off of that sidewall, off that corner. It always gets awkward when it's stuck out there, and the defender's not able to read what it's going to show, but great resiliency from Staten Island to be there, and that one is on target. 11-10. As I'm talking about their one goal, they get another one. Matt just putting this one off the corner, not the greatest clear, and again 11-10. That corner right there has been working perfect for Staten Island. They can keep it there. Maybe they can get a couple more, but that insurance goal is definitely going to be one you want.
Yeah, nothing anybody's gonna complain about. 100 seconds left. Rhino has really been the main source of the offense for Louisville so far. There's a third one. We might have just seen a cap put on top of this game. This Dolphin squad coming really, really hard and fast in this last 30 seconds or so, right? Like we saw most of this game go down 1-0 just like that. 3-1 for the side Staten Island.
I was gonna say the floodgates almost open there for Staten Island. You're right, to get the 3 goals right off the bat in that 30 to 45 second time frame is quite thrilling.
Oh.
And there's another one, a great pass. These little touches between each other there for Staten Island have been working out perfect. Rhino trying to see if he can't get something going for his team, but Driftsy gonna take this away. 11-10 in the air off the ceiling. Matt is gonna be able to get the catch. Gets it past one defender. Ryland not able to get the pass. He didn't have any boost. I think the boost starvation and the rotations have just been plaguing Louisville right now, so they might have to clean those up to try to take game number 2, as this one, 60 seconds left, still 2 goals down. Now we do get within 1. Now we've got some life left in this game for Louisville.
So thus far, it has been Rhino in the offense all day long, just charging ahead. Ryland on their first shot attempt, also with a save to boot, comes out with the second goal for the side of your University of Louisville squad. These Cardinals flying high for right now. Striking back right here, they allowed 3 goals up. That time is over. Mid-air demo right here. Mux will be back with the rest of his team here soon. Gets a bad spawn right side. Matt, Rhino, rotating around. Wonky lost off the side. Rhino puts it off the front and then almost bounces this one perfectly. The defender bit super hard up on top of him, but was not going to be able to block away that one. What was basically a no-connect situation, Mustache.
Oh, and that was the opportunity that they needed, but Ryland might be able to set something up. Rhino can't touch it either, and a waterfall not going to go in their favor. There's been a few close calls here for Louisville, and there was actually a little bit of an instance there on the midfield line where 11-teen was basically, you know, put himself positioned right underneath the Louisville player, but off the backward, this could be it, though. They miss it, and Staten Island will take the win. 2 players there from Louisville, and neither of them able to connect to drop it in. Unfortunate, but I did like that, love that spark of life there at the end, that last probably minute. Louisville looking good, but Staten Island sneaks out the win.
Yeah, just right there. What we're looking at, 6 shots total for both squads as well. So, you know, Mustache, we predicted a relatively close game, and it sounds like, tastes like that's exactly what we are going to get here, the ECAC regular season stream. Again, this is week number 7 in case you're just joining us. Taking it to the numbers a little bit more here, Louisville does come out with 1 extra save here, which just kind of makes sense because Staten Island did of course, get an extra, you know, they have the same shot attempts, but did actually connect on more of those, you know?
And those saves are so crucial. So Staten Island coming out and able to sneak that win. Again, Louisville having a lot of close opportunities, and maybe both sides didn't get saves when, you know, it should have been credited. We all know how the game can treat some touches and things like that. So Louisville, again, I like that life that we saw at the end. Both squads really had moments of great clarity throughout the game. They just need to clean up a few mistakes on both sides. So Staten Island taking that game 1 win. We need to see if Louisville can tie up this series and give us at least 4 guaranteed. But right now, Matt trying to put it in. It goes off the post, bounces out, and that's just unfortunate. Ryland trying to see if he could play cleanup, and the defenders for Staten Island get a nice counterattack going.
Yeah, just like that, and perhaps that is really the difference between, you know, 10 boost and 0. Simply not able to get to that one. Ryland, again, another difference perhaps of in boost and 0. Almost got the last little tip on this. Would have gone either to a teammate or had a solid little shot on. Ryland on the defense now. This is the rest. Rhino hitting this one left. Trying to bring this one out, going to be difficult with no boost, but Ryland connects to the pass shot, I guess, really, over the left side, just like that. Your Louisville squad is on attack. Ryland trying to cover this one up after Matt puts it just a little bit too much mustard on that one, and then his Rhino again coming flying up to the top. Flying Rhino is not something I expected to say this morning.
No, you don't expect it, but he is looking good, trying to get plays going, and, you know, Louisville coming out with that strong offense yet again, and it's causing Staten Island to be stuck on their back foot quite a bit. And that will sooner or later allow an open door just like that. We were talking about Rhino flying through the air, and this flying Rhino able to put one in the back of the net.
Fantastic stuff right here, using a little bit of wonky plays, right? Like not even really like kind of the front, kind of underneath. It doesn't matter. Still gets the perfect hit onto that one. Defenders got nada. Back to the middle. 11-teen and the rest of the Staten Island College getting on top of this one. That's just a little bit too high right here. That really has bitten both teams multiple times in this matchup, Mustache.
Indeed, and it has been a situation where we've got to watch those types of clears and stuff. They can really put them in that awkward position. And you saw Ryland just holding down. He had no boost, nothing he could do with it. Off of the backboard. So both squads really, I feel like they're just kind of throwing a few one-off plays here, and Staten Island trying to play that catch-up, and that might be able to do so as Driftsy was there. Mux puts a shot on, and Rhino getting the clear. Defense starting to look a little bit better. 11-teen does get the flip reset, but can't do anything with it.
back to the middle, or at least attempting to. Members of Louisville dead on the defense for a while. This ball finally gets out after a pinch off the wall from this Matt player, using the last little boost to get up to this one. You mentioned boost starvation and the effect that has had in this game. So far, Staten Island is straight up controlling that. Oh, does not matter when you have Matt and the rest of these Louisville's Cardinals rotating around, hanging out in the air, striking when the iron is hot.
And you know, back to your statement of the boost starvation, it was Mux who even picked up that corner boost. Ryland said, hey, I don't need it. I'm able to set up my teammates, and this one could be off the kickoff. It is.
Whoa.
Rhino able to get the touch. 3-goal lead in for Louisville. They are a game down in this series, but they're looking much better here in game 2.
Yeah, much better. Talk about that. This is simply a goal that probably would not have really happened in the first game at any point. Much closer. Now we're looking at a 3-goal run, but hey, that is exactly what this Staten Island College squad did in game number 1, Mustache. So now it's just a little bit of a who can go on a more of a run. Ryland having to burn everything to get that one, gets rewarded a little epic on top of that save. Now taking it back to the middle, Driftsy there, shot up, and Ryland is forced. The hand is forced on defense yet again. Members of Louisville trying to bring this one out, and now do. I know on the offense, they're responding right down bottom after the demo. Now rotations will come in. Louisville will have their shot.
And their shot has been quite spectacular, to say the least. They've got the 3 goals. Nobody there off of Rhino's touch, but they really don't need to. They have the affordability to kind of play a little bit more spaced out. It's Staten Island that's going to have to push up, and we've seen some good instances from them, but they're just not able to get past the defense that has been pretty stellar over here for Louisville. Both sides of the ball for that Louisville squad looking good. Ryland gonna rotate around as Matt gets a nice clear out into the midfield. It goes, but 11-team is just trying to get anything going. We saw 3 goals in about 60 seconds last game. Can they do it again here? But I do feel like almost Louisville has just gotten warmed up, and because of that, they're looking very dangerous.
Yeah, Rhino barely getting back to this one. Would not have been on goal regardless, but still, 3 to go is exactly what Staten Island needs. That's just to tie it up here, Mustache. More offense, back the other way. This second game, though, excuse me, might already be pickled.
Oh,
Yep.
And if it wasn't before, it definitely is now. 4-goal deficit, 36 seconds left. Not sure what Staten Island could do. Crazier things have happened, but I don't think you're going to see the 4 needed to tie us all up. So I think that one is definitely the insurance goal to kind of write this one off. Staten Island, if anything, they just need 1 to get that morale back up. Game 2s are always, I feel, the more important games in a best of 5, just because if you do lose that one, you come back, you win game 2, that puts you in the right mindset, whereas game 1 winners have to look back and figure out what they did right in that first one to try to do it in the third one. So 14 seconds. This one is definitely going to be Louisville's win, and that will be a tie series, so we are guaranteed at least 4 games out of this one.
Yeah, like we said, no sweeps here. Looking for a 5th to go. Something to show off to Mom. Top in the middle. Again, once this ball touches, that's it. I mean, I should say, if this is Staten Island taking this, nobody wants to put up a goose egg in game number 1. Driftsy almost makes that one the talk of the town here, Mustache. 11-team down bottom. 2 teams of very high caliber squads, both opting to play the volleyball out to this one. Mucks out to the left side, and that's going to be a ground ball. Louisville, they may have gotten their wings clipped. These Cardinals did in game number 1, Mustache, but that is a thing of the past.
Oh, and a good thing for them. They tie up that series. They're able to keep it prolonged and looking pretty good doing so. I mean, coming out with 8 saves for Louisville compared to the 2 for Staten Island. And that right there says quite a bit, because both offenses had opportunities, but the defense coming out for Louisville, that is what solidified this win here.
Yeah, absolutely. When we talk about these numbers. Staten Island even had an extra shot attempt on 9-8 respectively for Louisville. And Matt, the player that got half of these goals, 2 of these goals, coming in with 4 down bottom. Rhino coming in 2-2 with 100% shot efficiency ratio on that. It was just defense all day long, exactly like you said. This one just simply going in as Staten Island just simply did not have anywhere amount the saves. 4 times, 8-2 here. 8 for Louisville, 2 for Staten Island. That was the defining factor, and we'll see if that shows its ugly head again here in game number 3. Regardless, though, we have come in, we have purchased ourselves some extra Rocket League, and there will not be a 3-0 sweep one way or another.
And that's a good thing for all of us, both casters and you all out in Twitch chat. And hopefully there is a little bit of a disconnection, so we're just waiting for one of the players to join in. But while we take this little bit of a break for them, I hope that the players there for Staten Island can kind of look back at that defense. We were talking about how it was so important for Louisville's win right there. You're going to have to clean up any mistakes and not only have the great offense that we've seen both teams, but they've got to make sure they've got that great defense too. And I think Staten Island can turn this one around, but we have to go back to that mindset of what did they do right in game 1? They've got to try to do that again here in game 3 to put the series in their favor. Otherwise, Louisville, to see what they did in game 1 to game 2, I mean, Louisville looking good.
Several different lead changes already, an electrifying competition it has been. While we're waiting on this, I want to give a shout out to the people, some of the organizations that do make this possible. First and foremost, Colton, our producer. We appreciate him out there producing away and making our jobs as casters just so much easier. We are nothing but 2 gorgeous mustaches screaming about video games in our rooms without our production staff. So we really appreciate that. But also the organizations here, Lenovo Legion, they're coming out with this new monitor. So I'm just going to keep it to the numbers for you guys. The Y25 monitor, you're looking at that insane 240 hertz refresh rate, as well as less than 1 millisecond response time. So there's Y25, 1, 240, a lot of numbers coming at you, but only other one really that you need to pay attention to is that 24.5-inch monitor, big enough to get the job done, and some fantastic esports hardware right there. You can find out what's a little bit more about that or find out retailers and whatnot over at Lenovo.com. Easy peasy right there, the Y25 monitor. G-Sync compatible as well, of course. Not a number, but still very much worthwhile to say.
All right, so it sounds like we're going to take a little short break. We're just waiting for one of the players to get in. So, guys, please do not go anywhere. We will come right back with this tied series between Louisville and why did I even space it?
Staten Island. University College of Staten Island. CSI.
There we go. But we will be back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
21.
And now I got 2 wrists. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big.
Hello and welcome back. We are here and we are live. The ECAC regular season continues now. Mustache and I said it was going to be not a 3-0 sweep. Really, I said it, but I'm willing to extend this on over to Mustache, man. There was not going to be a 3-0. There was not going to be a 3-0 sweep, and that is not the situation we have found ourselves in today. There has not been an overtime situation in Game 1, even though it did go down to 3-2, and that was for the Staten Island Dolphins. Game 2, anything but that, Mustache.
It was a 4-0 onslaught from Louisville. Yeah. They came out swinging and they didn't let go. And now we're going to see what will happen here in Game 3. The teams will take their positions. We will take ours. It's been a little bit of a break, but I think we're all anxious to see how the rest of this series will play out. Right now, they're tied up. Louisville, again, coming off that 4-0 win in Game 2, and it was really tough to see Staten Island do much out there on the pitch, but Have they taken this break to see what they need to work on and get themselves back in this series? As that one could have been dangerous, but nobody pushing up quite as hard from Louisville to start off the game, and probably rightfully so.
Yeah, so having to put that 4-0 in the back of the mind, definitely a bit of a task there for College of Staten Island, especially a squad that came off of a loss just last week. Looking at positive negatives, at least the loss the University of Louisville has taken, the Cardinals have taken, was off the back of a Week 3 performance that is chronologically farther away. Driftsy coming up to this one, and the same problem that has really been biting the Dolphins is not overfishing. It is coming in at these and not being able to get up and get to these balls. Whether that's a boost management problem, that's a positioning problem, whether that's a passes coming in too fast problem, not sure. There's a problem nonetheless. Rhino, striking first here for the Louisville squad.
I'll tell you what, there is no problems out there on Louisville. Watch Ryland push up into the net to clear out the only defender and just clears the way for the shot. Perfect aggressiveness to come out from Ryland. That is really what set up that goal, and now we've got a 1-goal lead back for Louisville, and they have now scored 5 in, what is that, basically 7 minutes. So fantastic showing from them as they keep their offensive onslaught on the docket.
Yeah, they really have. A little shimmy shake there from Matt. That's a pretty bad spawn. Driftsy getting right into that one. I'm not sure if there's a bad spawn or literal perfect timing here from this Louisville player. We're gonna call it good timing. We're gonna give the credit to your mustache.
I'm actually surprised the roof of the car didn't, change the trajectory of the ball, because sometimes that does happen.
I thought I could have sworn that it did. My bad.
Well, and maybe it did. It just didn't look like it affected it as much as I would have thought for them being spawned right there in that corner. But nevertheless, we will digress, and we are now stuck here in the midfield where, again, it is just Ryland leading the charge over here on Louisville. He's got no boost, but it doesn't matter. Matt and Rhino both having to back off because they just did not like 11 team pushing up as hard as he did. But a good counterattack. Matt, wide open net. Ryland's going to clean up. No, he's going to leave it for Matt. It didn't matter. Nobody from Staten Island was there to defend, and that is just going to be an easy goal for Louisville.
Yeah, so just popping this one up, pretty decently centered as well. A little high on the longitudinal, but latitudinal about as middle as you get. 20 seconds outside of overtime. Now, this is your College of Staten Island, this CSI squad. It's still searching, still investigating, if you will, for a goal the past 9 minutes, 8 minutes, halfway through this. There's a minute or so in the game number 1, took him to score, and then nothing last game. Yeah, so rough look so far. It's got a Staten Island squad.
I do like how Staten Island has started to get just as aggressive. There was a couple demos during that last little setback there, and I like that from them. They've got to start clearing out defenders. They've got to start opening up lanes. They're having trouble getting past the defense of Louisville. And as long as they keep the pressure going and cause some boost starvation for Louisville, I think it'll help. But they are going to have to start taking these players out as Ryland's going to launch it. Mux stopping it from the midfield. There's the demo. Mux has to get the touch. Didn't have the boost, and that is going to be unfortunate. But again, I like the idea.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate. Okay, almost a very dangerous miss on the defense right there. That's just kind of like going to thread the needle over to the left side, and just like that, Louisville granted with a great position after defender getting bounced right there. Matt with a fantastic stop, but Mux cleans this one up. Back to the middle. Ryland to Matt. Matt out. Matt to Rhino on this one, but that's going to get Matt. And probably should have taken this one down the middle themselves. Bounce play. Matt gets to it. Back to a decently neutral situation. Yes, Louisville is on the defense right now. Bounce play. Rhino up. Rylan getting over to this. I think actually did get a hand on it, not sure, but Matt and Rhino combining in the middle, kind of doubling up on offense, easily gives this ball away.
Rhino just trying to stop it there in the midfield. But there is a great attempt from Mux. Again, Staten Island, they've had some opportunities, and here's yet another one. Driftsy, can he get off the backboard? Doesn't have the boost, but Ryland able to get a touch. That boy is everywhere on the field. He's able to be on the offensive side. This one, again, another touch from Ryland to get it cleared out. He has been on offense. He has been on defense. He has been all over for Louisville, and it has set up some fantastic plays. Matt getting this touch, low boost. Boost starvation has set in for Louisville, and Staten Island will sneak in. 26 seconds left. There is some life left.
Yeah, I mean, hey, as long as this score difference of 1, as long as this ball is kept aloft to 0, we can play technically indefinitely. Staten Island, not out of this one quite yet. It just took them a little while to find this first goal, as it is. Still lead of 1. So probably the kind of keep away situations coming out from your Louisville squad soon. Shot to the right side. Mux is out there. Ryland, the only player back. Defender there, 11-10, rolls it in, and we have a tie game in 11 seconds. Love to see it.
I saw this challenge, and I'm like, I really thought Mux was actually going to be able to get it out to 11-10. You saw Ryland get a great challenge. It kind of just drops. And 11-10 being there in the right place at the right time, perfect. Ryland couldn't do anything with it, and we get the tying goal with 11 seconds. We might get our first overtime, or can we see Staten Island end it here in regulation as they start their offensive push? Ryland, though, that great defender and offensive player. Rhino's going to take this off to the side, and we do, in fact, get our first overtime.
Love to see it. We are looking at a situation where 27 seconds ago, Staten Island was down 2-0. There was little hope left for humanity. As it is, overtime situation purchase. This has been a close matchup, as we called since the very beginning. One of these two teams will be taking their second L today, but not in this game necessarily. Whichever team loses this, other team will go up 2-1. There will still be one more game to be played, guaranteed. This is not your last Rocket League action for the ECAC stream here today. 27, hit inside, and Ryland rails that one in. Louisville striking back in game number 3.
Ryland, he's on the defense. He's on the offense. He sets up Louisville. No defender able to get back for Staten Island. You hate to see it if you are a Staten Island fan, but for all you Louisville fans out there, you've got to be praising Ryland right now. I saw somebody in chat saying, Matt, fantastic player. And don't get me wrong, he is. But, man, I feel like every time we talk, Ryland coming out with 4 saves. He's got a goal to his name, 3 shots. I mean, he's just doing everything, rightfully earning the MVP for Louisville, setting up a series match point for Louisville. They are now leading 2-1 in the series. Staten Island, hey, able to come back with that 26 seconds. I'm, not convinced that this series will end here in game 4.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. We might be going the distance here, Mustache. Time will tell on that. Now, besides just the obvious score advantage here for Louisville, the 3-2 in overtime, every member scores as well, whereas on the other side, 11-team doubles up to almost get the hat trick there for the side of Staten Island. 2 goals for the sole player. Now, yes, one of them was assisted by one of his teammates, but at the end of the day, I'd like to see a more even-keeled performance here from your Staten Island squad, from the Dolphins here on the right in the orange.
I do agree with that. We will need to see, an equal workload from all the players, especially against this Louisville squad, just because, we've talked about Ryland a lot, but Rhino and Matt they made plays. They had a goal to their name as well. So you can't just say it's all Ryland, but Matt out to Rhino, and there you have it. Just like that. We were talking about Ryland. No, those two can do it, and they've been connecting with each other all night. Fantastic first goal there for Louisville.
Yeah, that's Mux that just simply can't get to this one in time. 104 kilometers across the ground is incredibly hard to do. It's a fast bowling ball, though. 11 seconds in. Louisville striking first. They've been in the lead for the vast majority of this matchup, so they're back to that very comfortable situation.
Good midfield control to come out from Mux, and there was Driftsy who went up for a defender clear on the last little push there from Mux. 11-team trying to set up. Mux can't push up on that. He knows he can't. Double touch potential from Ryland. He was there, didn't have the boost and didn't have the protractor out to get the angle. Rhino's just going to give it back out to Ryland to try to make the play, but Drifts gets it over. Matt can't make the play. Mux to 11-team. It's in dangerous territory still there. Rhino able to get it cleared out, but I'm liking this attack from Staten Island there. Almost able to get it by, but the defense for Louisville still holds out strong. and they breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief, but we are back over here to Louisville half.
Mux and Matt meet in the middle. It's going to be Ryland taking it out for the time being. 11-team going for a ball and kind of a demo and splits the attention. Goes right across the middle and gets neither. Back to the middle. Rhino going to be hitting this one against backboard. Barely getting to it, and going to be thanking that they did, because that was definitely an opportunity for a slam in very, very close off of this backboard. Back up top, Dripsy over, Mux trying to bring this one out. On the other side is Rhino as a bounce play comes to the middle. Ryland almost taking advantage of this one, does off the first. First defender dusted. Second defender hits this one across the top, and Rhino gonna be nailing this one in again.
Just a good setup, Ryland. Those challenges, even though the one he gets it past the first defender, there is another defender to make a play, but the challenge goes in favor of Louisville. And it's always a situation where we see one Louisville player making the push, whether he's got to go by one or two defenders, but then there's always another, the second striker, to play cleanup on it. And there's a great setup. Mux able to get them back within one. So I'm going to kind of hold on my thought, because this is a great goal for Staten Island.
Matt, I mean, hard read. If he flips over to the left, kind of behind him as he was doing, you know, quarter second earlier, might have been able to block this one away. Who knows? Who knows? One score difference here in the bottom, or almost second half, excuse me, of the second game, and there we go, dude. Staten Island Dolphins, masters at tying it up.
And this is why I want to go back to the thought I was initially rambling on. There you have it. 11-team is in the right spot to play cleanup. I've noticed a lot of plays from Staten Island where you've got one striker, nobody really far enough up to make a play and help out if you can't get past the defender, whereas you always see somebody from Louisville able to play cleanup on any type of challenge. Specifically, it's either Ryland or Rhino, and then it allows Matt or anybody else to get that goal in. So now we've seen the two goals needed for Staten Island. They get it tied, all because they're able to put two strikers out on front. Drifsy's going to try and see if he can't set something up again. Gets it past one, doesn't have the boost. Ryland is there. He does get the clear, and it is favorable out to Matt on the midfield line. Rhino not able to connect, but neither was the defender from Staten Island, so that could have been dangerous. Still here on Staten Island territory. Mux has got to get the clear. He does. Into the midfield it goes.
Yes, it pays with that one. We're getting there, but still a solid defense, and just like that, Louisville on the defensive stance. Back to the middle, hit to the bottom. Matt bites all the way up at this and thankfully gets teeth on it. Gets this one back to the middle. 11-team, solid control, but that one stopped across as Ryland now taking it up their left side. Back to the offensive. Right pop play. This will be dribbling down, and Rhino just gets this to this one like a little bit too early again. A little bit too high on that one, Mustache.
Yeah, he just couldn't get the angle needed to drop down. Ryland tried to pre-jump that one and see if he could angle the nose to get that one to drop in front of net. The defense gets that little sigh of relief. Rhino able to get a nice catch, gets it past one. Driftsy by himself, able to slow down the pace of the push. Driftsy doesn't have the boost. Got to get it past Ryland, but Matt able to get a great clear all the way down to the Staten Island half, and a demo coming out on the Mux. Rhino out to Ryland. Ryland there, but Driftsy is there as well, and the clear is perfect. So we still are tied up just at the 60-second mark.
Yeah, that was dangerous looks across the middle right there. Not frequent that you'll allow this. What a shot! And the follow-up, but the third is there, 11-team. That's how many shots it seemed like were on that goal. 11-team, Mustache.
Oh, and Ryland, that is unfortunate. He's just a second late, and because of it, he basically pancakes the ball on the wall and allows Staten Island to get a few more touches before 11-team is able to put it in the back of the net. 45 seconds left. Can we see another overtime demo coming out? Mux drops it down. Great save, and another one from Ryland as Mux not able to put that one in. Rylan trying to push his way through. 32 seconds left. Time is quickly ticking down. 11-team with the push. Mux is there. This one rolling. Rylan's got to get it out. He does. But the push coming from Staten Island is exactly what you want to see this series continue on.
Back to the middle. Cardinals have been on defense the past 20 seconds or so. Down by 1. Got to get this one out before the volleyball situation does come in. Pop to the top. And Matt and everyone else on the side of Louisville has just had to burn so much just to stop this offensive onslaught that these members have come onto. Oh my goodness, getting so low. Like limbo, how low can you go without it actually dropping?
Sadly enough, I do feel like Louisville's sitting with next to nothing in the tank. Matt's got about half. 11-team just trying to drop it. Matt, no, actually keeps it up. Can anybody be there? Rylan is there, pops it up. We saw, I believe it was game 1 where they just kept the ball going. And Rylan trying to get it past Mux. It's a great touch. Rhino with an even better catch, and the ball is still in the air. Finally, no! Rhino able to keep it alive. Every time you think this ball is going to drop, they keep it going, and finally 11-team will basically fake the touch, give Staten Island the win, and we are headed to a game 5.
Yeah, smart job. Some would argue about the original rule 0, right? Like, don't stop playing don't let the ball drop till the very end, no matter what the score is. But in competitive matchups like this, I think it's more like that rule 1 we're going to respect more so of. Taking to the shots, my goodness. Louisville, the simple fact that they had 3 attempted to make 2 goals in, when you look at the other side and see 11, am I counting this right? Yeah, double digits. 11 for Staten Island coming in here. Wait, that is 11, right? Yeah. 4 + 5 is 9, and 2 is 11. Okay, phew. Staten Island making 3 of the 11 in. Obviously the efficiency ratio is much, much lower than 2 to 3. But at the end of the day, when you keep up an offensive onslaught like this, like we just saw from the Dolphins of Staten Island, that's going to go this way 9 times out of 10. They're simply going to be able to rack more of these in, especially when they were able to put shot attempt after shot attempt after shot attempt. Like again, that 11-team, man, that 11-team seems like that's how many shots were technically on to that goal that eventually went in. The guaranteed last game now, though, 2-2, tied up. What a series we have.
No guaranteed last game, and wow, I thought it was just going to be a Staten Island goal right out of the gate to keep that momentum going for themselves. You were talking about their shot accuracy, and I'm going to say these players, they're not worrying about the shot accuracy. They just need to make sure the shots are going in like this one. 11-team puts the first one on the board for Staten Island, and they are coming out with a great one. Rhino not able to connect.
So early as well, right?
Oh, yeah, it's actually, I believe, the soonest, the earliest goal we've seen in all 5 games.
I thought there was an 11-second goal. I thought there was an 11-second goal in there somewhere. But regardless, still very, very quick, right?
Oh, of course. And they need to see another one. Mux, those passing plays come out from Driftsy was a great little setup. Not able to put it quite on target, but those are exactly what you want to see. Staten Island needing more of those passing plays because we were seeing a bunch out of Louisville, and I feel like that's what was really their key to victory. And close call right there, but 11-team able to get a touch from the midfield. Gets a nice recovery off the sidewall, but can't get the second touch. He ran out of boost. Matt is there, but Mux with a just diving save. Fantastic defensive play, and Staten Island holds on to that lead.
Makes sense that Dolphins are good at diving. That's a perfect example right there. Shot to the middle right there, and Mux is just perfect, plays perfect time, but also gets the perfect positioning, perfect response on that. Like literally everything about that had to be perfect. That would have been probably hands down the fastest shot on here. We've already seen like 110, 102 kilometers per hour just of the 2 that I can remember. We were looking at like 130 right there, something crazy, something absolutely bonkers. 11-team, rest of these Dolphins members now on the defense. 11-team, ooh, that's going to be an own goal, my friend.
That is unfortunate. Rhino sets it up into the midfield, and it was Rylan who wanted the touch, but 11-team actually connects, and I don't think anybody expected. Once they saw Rylan miss, no defender expected the ball to come flying towards the net, and that It's just one of those situations that you just have to move on and say, well, it happens. We've all had it happen in Rocket League, and it's no different whether you're gold or whether you're Supersonic Legend or a pro. You will have those situations. Now they digress as we are tied up.
True. I will hold feet to fire a very, very small amount by saying that Mux on the defense probably could have gotten there if you were just reading, like instead of anticipating passing or something, but just more reading the ball. I think that, I mean, it's easy for me to say on this side, of course, but if we're going to say, like, you know, minor misplays, perhaps I will list that as one. Back up to the middle. Rhino, a solid little hit. I do believe he's got a little bit more boost in the tank. Nope, not going to happen right there. Matt rotating on around. Now hit to the middle. Ryland is almost perfect positioning on this one, but is able to rotate around and get a hand onto this one. Bounce play. I don't think that's not going to be on. That's a little bit wide right as Ryland's trying to take this off the wall. Loses the 50, gets it a hit up, and that's going to be Drifty trying to take a demo or something.
I believe, talking about demos, Matt is going to take Bucks off of the pitch for just a few seconds. But yes, I feel the demos will probably start coming out a little bit more in fruition here as we get closer to the end, as Matt having to give a little bit of aid to Ryland. Ryland was on his back foot and couldn't really get himself set up. Mux, a little awkward, but a great clear right down the center. Ryland, though, all the way back. The defenders for Louisville, they always have that third pretty far back, at least between the final third and that midfield line. Matt trying to get this past 11, not able to do so. The offense still holding on strong as Staten Island continues to push. 11 trying to clear out. Ryland not able, but that was a great attempt. Now it's going to be a Louisville turn.
Third member, there you go. Oh, Ryland again, just coming a little bit too fast at this one. I was wondering where this third member Ryland was going to be, and is there, but again, just coming a little bit too fast at this. Didn't really look like defenders had too much in the way of a brick wall set up right there, but as it is, we are staring in the barrel of another overtime situation until a shot to the right side is just a little bit too far outside. We've gone to overtime the past two games. I think that's where we're heading here again, Mustache.
Yeah, you saw the you were talking about overtime, and that was a shot attempt right there that could have nullified that remark, but we are approaching the final 40 seconds here. This one dropping down. Ryland trying to push up. So both squads, will the spacing start to increase as neither team are wanting to make any type of mistake on the defensive side. Mux can't connect on that one. Matt is there, but the push is still in favor of Staten Island. They got to keep this going if they want to try and end it here in regulation, but time is ticking down, and we are still tied up.
10 seconds to go. 11 comes up. 11 shakes one in.
Goodness.
So we are looking at what Staten Island won game one. Louisville came back swinging in game number 2, the Louisville Slugger, if you will. 3-2 overtime situation, Louisville. 3-2 overtime situation, Staten Island in game number 4. They just purchased themselves a lot of wiggle room.
What a shot. Top shelf like that. Drops it down. Staten Island takes the win at that 11-second crazy shot by 11 to drop it down. And I was noticing Ryland was on his rotation in the net. He didn't expect 11, at least it didn't seem like he expected 11 to put that one right below the crossbar. I mean, as a defender, those are always tough to read. You think it might just clip the crossbar, maybe bounce a few times, and it doesn't. Perfect placement from 11. Fantastic shot, Staten Island. Congratulations on that win.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It came out swinging. 3-2 victory for the side of Staten Island. Louisville followed up with a 4-0 slap down of Staten Island in game number 2. And then just from there, we literally just had 3-2s all the way. Actually, excuse me. Yeah, so except for game 2, we had 3-2s all the way across, which of course means, Mustache, that the University of Louisville across these 5 games actually scored more points. But it doesn't matter because they scored those points and not the games that matter. Last 3 games being overtime as well. We called for a close match, and that's exactly what we got. We are going to go to a very short break, and we'll be back with you guys. A little interview action after that. We got Overwatch after that as well, so don't go away after the interview. Just hang on for a few minutes while we set up that interview.
Just stay here all the time.
Job that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody nobody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my
And we are back after the slobber knocker that was this matchup between the University of Louisville Cardinals and the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Dolphins going to be swimming hard at this one. I'm not really sure. I was going to do the fly and swim. I'm not sure. 11-teen. We got 11-teen here to come and give us a little slice of that brain after the matchup. 11-teen, you with us?
Well,
How's it going? So 11-teen. I want to start off your round of questions. First off, I want to say congratulations on the win. That was a thrilling series, to say the least. But a few questions I have for you is, first off, what's your major? What are you going to school for?
I'm a nursing major, actually.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
just a little bit of time after. Is there anything specific? I guess I've never really talked to a nursing student before. Is there anything specific that you line up your path with, I guess, or is it just kind of general?
Yeah, so there are a lot of branches of nursing. I've kind of been learning about them as I've been studying nursing, because I kind of went into it and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then as I've been learning more, like there's this field called informatics, which you basically work with doctors and computer scientists, and you build software out to optimize the hospital experience and stuff like that. And I think that'd be really cool because I like that kind of problem solving.
No, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I definitely am familiar with. I know here in Indiana, IU's got a big informatics school. But anyways, on to the next one. We got to go back to the Rocket League series, and that one towards the end. What was the vibe with the 11-second goal that you put top shelf that just basically ends the series? I mean, did you have it in sight? Was there a plan? Was it just one of those like Justin 0-second types of goals? What was going on in the chat with all of you guys once you dropped that one in?
So as the series progressed, I tried to take a more conservative route and I tried to be more third man. And I just saw the opportunity. The ball went up and no one was on the backboard. So my initial plan was to double tap it. And I accidentally slotted it right under the crossbar. And I guess we take those.
You know what? Those are always the best goals when you're like, I went for something completely different, but hey, I get it. So yes, congratulations on that. That was a thrilling series. And I'm going to let Tug take it away with a few more.
Yeah, I gotta say, as a player that couldn't do a tenth of what you and your teammates did here tonight, your teammates or your opponents did here tonight, I gotta say that makes me feel better about my own play. Just you put those up sometimes, and sometimes they go in. Sometimes it happens in 7 seconds. Sometimes you win a series for it. I love it. So I want to talk a little bit about this game too, right? Literally every single game here was a 3-2 scoreline. 3 of those 4 3-2s went down to overtime. A lot of numbers coming at you. What happened in game 2 though? That was a 4-0 stomp.
So I don't know. We came out hot in game 1. We took it. It was pretty close. They scored the first goal and then we answered back with 3. But after that, I guess they just adjusted. They started going for demos. They were really aggressive. We kind of were getting really sloppy with our spacing, and we push in too close, and then they just pop it over us. So it was something that we tried to work through in games 3, 4, and 5, and like we kept it close in 3, and then by game 4 we finally readjusted and were able to close it out.
There you go. Yeah, I 100% agree. And I guess the last game did not actually technically go to an overtime because you were 7-second goal. So, excuse me there. Also, Mustache and I were kind of like waxing philosophical for a second, trying to like think about the numbers and whatnot. Technically, Louisville came through and scored 13 goals, whereas your squad scored 11, but you guys still won, which is of course what is important.
Yep.
How often do you think that happens? Like given how many like 3-0s there are in collegiate esports, sometimes obviously there are game 5s, but how often do you think, because I said a number and Mustache said a number, there you go, and Mustache said a number, but I'm curious what you think. How often does that happen?
How often does that happen?
Does the losing team actually score more goals across like the multiple games, but the winning team scores less? You understand what I'm saying?
You want a percentage?
Like a percentage, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just a guess. I'm curious.
So for best of 5s, I'd say like 20%, maybe 25%.
There you go.
There are a lot of games in series where a team will stomp and then the other team will just readjust. And because a lot of times when you're down 3-0 or you're down 4-0 especially, you kind of just let the other team do what they want, because you hope that they get overconfident, and then when you come back harder the next game, you can throw them off guard and you can really push back. And so you kind of just flow with it. When you're down that much, you kind of just let it happen, and then next game you go in fresh and you really take it to them.
And take it to them, you did. Just kind of keep it mentality wise though, like let them let them believe that the ball is in their court and they can make their own plays and therefore make their own mistakes. I like it. I like
that mindset. I'm gonna write that down. Take that.
There you go. There you go. The man, the myth, the legend, 11-teen here, the solid striker as well for the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Thank you for coming on and giving us some of your time after the game. Do you have any shout outs here before we get you on out of here?
Yeah, I just want to shout out the CSI Esports Twitter, CSI Esports, and shout out the college. The program's really new and we've been having a lot of success with it, and I'm excited to see what the future of the program is.
There you go. Awesome to hear. One last very, very quick question, because I just thought about this. How often do people make the crime scene investigation jokes? Like, is this like CSI?
Yeah. Pretty often.
It's getting old by this point.
Yeah,
all right, got it.
If it's out of New York, then it's pretty often. But most people in at least the city of New York know. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Pretty often.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. We'll have you back here in the interview box, but only if you win, because we only have winners in interview box. Okay, 11-teen?
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Thank you for your time, sir. We'll see you back here soon, I'm sure. This has been your regular season ECAC stream. This is week number 7, and this was your College of Staten Island taking it to the University of Louisville. The Cardinals there in a Game 5 fashion with multiple overtime situations coming into this one. Now, I do believe with that, though, Mustache, we have reached least favorite part of any stream. And that, of course, is the end. Do you have anything else for the good people before we tell them goodbye and good night?
Yeah, just GG's to both squads. They played phenomenal games. It was a joy to cast, and thrilling matchup again. A huge congratulations out there to Staten Island, get another win. If you're, if you move on past that and keep that momentum going, Staten Island will be looking good, and just a GG's all around. But yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to wait for next week for another round of Rocket League.
That we will. Moving into that week, the College of Staten Island will be 6-1. University of Louisville taking their second loss, 5-2, moving into that one. And that is the Red Squad as well, because they have multiple squads in this. So long, good night. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.
God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids, and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch ahead. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just stop.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the penultimate week of the group stages here at the ECAC Overwatch tournament. I'm Big Hunger Phil, and joining me today is Dryad over there on the analyst or colorcaster desk. Dryad, what have we got to look forward to today?
Well, it's going to be a good match. Both the teams doing pretty good so far, trying to get another victory under their hands. And it's going to be Central Methodist against University of Kentucky. Again, they've only lost a single time.
Yeah, if you look at the scoreline, it's 5-1 across the board for both of these guys. And in fact, both teams only dropped 6 maps over the previous games they've played, both dropping almost half of those to the teams that have given them their losses, that being Ball State Red and Wesleyan Titans. And we are very close, Dryad, to the end of the group stages. About one more week of regular season and we're into the playoffs. It's going to be the top half of the bracket, the top 34 teams that move through into the playoffs. And both of these teams, regardless of how they do today, are almost guaranteed, short of something terrible happening to the players, to make it through into the playoffs, right? So this is really just playing for a little bit for pride, but mostly for who can get the more favorable seeding once we move into the playoff bracket.
Yeah, so any win is going to count for that, really. Their main concern is going to be that, but they're not too worried about losing again. They already guarantee how good the teams are throughout the entire season, and everything else just now is really preparing for those playoffs, looking at the teams that they lost against and why they lost against those teams. And even if you go into the losses, they were really close. It was just a matter of the maps. It seems like because it's been such a long season for them, they've had enough time to prepare. So anything here is going to be preparation for what comes next.
Yeah, frankly, the more game footage you can get, the more of an understanding of the teams that you could be playing later on in the playoffs that you have, the better. Scrims are great, but it can be sometimes difficult to recreate scrim success actually in a real game. Speaking of real games. Looks like we are about ready to go into today's match, just with you in a few seconds. Dryad, maybe in the drought since the end of Contenders and since the end of Overwatch League, maybe it would be useful to have a little bit of a hint of maybe what we can expect to see today, because these are high-level teams, high-level performers. What are we sort of expecting to see on the field today?
Right. I mean, it's going to be a lot of this is a very good state of Overwatch in some ways, and in the way that there's different metas that you can play and get away with. It depends a little bit more on the comfortability of the teams playing those metas. We're gonna, of course, start with the control map is going to be Legion Tower. So, you know, you think of map by map being Legion Tower, and you kind of already have an idea of what teams usually play. And I mean, every single time is going to be, if you're not bringing the standard of a Reinhardt, of maybe a Diva, of maybe a Baptiste, to maps like this one, then you're questioning what the team is really doing. I think the key, of course, is going to be the Symmetra coming through for both of them. Obviously, a guarantee, whoever gets to the point first, whoever's able to win that fight first is going to be beneficial just to continue controlling that space.
Okay, well, it looks like it's going to be more or less even across the board here. Andy versus Andy B, the only difference here. Who's going to be able to get that Sim TP up first? Looks like that might be Central Methodist with an early one, but the punch in from Andy secures the pick onto George, securing the 5v6. But Central Methodist University stay composed. They look to punch back. It's the DPS lineup of Central Methodist that start to do the work here, taking out their opposite numbers. A quick dip onto the side here for Sky. Needs to be a little bit careful. There is still Lucio in play. Potential for boop over the side. And wow, that's going to be an early amplification matrix, and he shoots through that, and that's going to be the Lucio down, that's going to be the Reinhardt down, and Central Methodist University, in a scrappy opening fight here, are going to get first cap.
An amplification that allowed the side of Central Methodist to take a little bit more control of that space they really needed to. If there is an ultimate that can do that is good at creating space, it's got to be that amplification, and coming through so early really puts into perspective the damage that was coming through the TP, though.
Oh, okay. I thought they were caught napping, but instead they get caught slammed flat-footed. University of Kentucky all on the ground. But it's not gone entirely Central Methodist's way so far. In fact, this has been 1-for-1 across the board here so far. Central Methodist still in charge, but it looks like it might just be Andy left trying to hold down the point on their own. Goes in, wants to keep that going. Actually, no, too late to tag in. Eventually has to go for the reset by force here. Care of Magic.
I'm not really sure. It just really seems like Central Methodist, they were not expecting that TP, but since Symmetra was still available, this is something that we look forward to every single time. And now it's going to be the opposite scenario. The Proton Barrier is going to be available from Silent just to start off the fight.
Okay, coming in here, we'll do a couple of key ult interactions. There's the first amplification matrix up, but the majority of the extra damage blocked here by the wall. And what a great counter, but an even better counter. The self-destruct comes out. Sky is able to find two. Silent rounds out with another two, and they may have given that point over, but Central Methodist come back in and take that handily. Dryad. They didn't even break a sweat.
And it was now the completely opposite scenario, right? Because we see Kentucky expecting the TP. The TP doesn't actually happen. It was a Proton Barrier to initiate. Then the self-destruct is allowing that to happen. It just goes back and forth.
Yeah, okay, Sound Barrier this time on good point possession care of University of Kentucky. The Shadow's going to come through. There's two already care of INH. Black Magic starts to punch back, finds two. Takes the fire strike and has to back away here. Is now trying to deal with the encroaching Reinhardt and the backup of the Deeper at the back line. Seems like they've still got control of the point for now, but the kills are going the way of University of Kentucky, and the flip comes through.
Going back and forth every single time. University of Kentucky taking control here, but not really having much to work with, especially looking at those support ultimates. Like an amplification is going to be great to initiate those fights, but guaranteeing those kills only with that, not quite enough. You're really hoping for a miracle like Sky was able to bring early on with the self-destruct.
Yeah, miracles with the self-destruct are few and far between, regardless of whether or not your university has an affiliation with the church. But George gets the opener. Central Methodist find a pick here. That's going to be Shinkai out of the fight, and University of Kentucky in response. They all hit Q in unison. Looking for kills to come through on this one as INH moves right the way to the back of the point with a charge that fails to connect. It's Black Magic left at the front line, swinging through. Now in comes the amplification matrix. Nobody caught through that just yet, but the damage has more or less been done. INH receives a heck of a lot of damage on the way through, and another team fight, another flip at the point here. But this time, University of Kentucky took it almost all the way to 90% here before the flip came through.
It will be the 90% and looking good nonetheless. This would be one or two more fights, potentially just a one very long fight that we can see here. Central Methodist, they have again Proton Barrier, and now they're expecting the TP to come in from Kentucky. We see the teleporter from them as well.
Okay, not caught up in this time, had a TP of their own, and he's up on the high ground. Waits for anybody to deal with that amplification range, and finds two as the protection of the shield has all the safety in the world. Lands the flashbang, looking for the last little headshot there as the Lucio of Mad Jack skips away. And this time, Central Methodist hold on to the point. There is the opportunity for a touch here, but Kentucky have to be quick.
And even with the Shatter available, it seems almost impossible for Kentucky to make anything happen here.
Well, that's going to be Andy on the ground, not able to get in and touch the point. Sky is able to find a pick here. Black Magic might have ran a little bit far with that charge, but still able to find a kill with a fire strike from range. And that's going to be 1-0 in favor of Central Methodist University.
Amplification and Fire Strike is probably one of my favorite combinations that we see in the game. Just putting in so much damage and guaranteeing that control for Central Methodist towards the end. They were the ones who initiated with that control on that first fight, and they end up with the same. And it was going back and forth. It was learning from those mistakes after it happened twice. And just being able to hold with that TP. I was also really impressed to see how no one was looking at Andy on the Cassidy.
Which Andy?
Just being on the high ground. Yeah, from Central Methodist. Just being able to stay on the high ground with the Cassidy and getting those 2 kills that guaranteed the opening of the fight that the team was waiting for.
Well, signs here that both of these teams are coming in with a game plan. We're looking at a modified dive here, kind of a Hour Zero style rush with the Reaper and the Sombra. Both teams gather around this central pillar, and it's Andy of Kentucky that finds the first pick. George is down. A lot of repositioning ability taken away here from Central Methodist University, and it means that Andy is happy to just get up close and personal with those Hellfire shotguns and find kill after kill after kill. And it's going to be University of Kentucky in the position here to get this first cap as soon as it unlocks.
And the 6-man here is going to be crucial for both teams. It is exactly the mirror match coming through for them. They know how good it can be in this map. And the key here, of course, is going to be building that EMP. There's a massive advantage that we can already see for University of Kentucky just from winning that fight. And even on this one as well.
That's a 1v1 you don't often see going the way of the Winston. Andy of Central Methodist down already. It's the 5v6. Central Methodist know they can't take that, so they're going to back out and give some more space to University of Kentucky. But Shinkai is about to get this EMP online.
Yeah, and everyone is going to come close together. It's going to be perfect for the EMP. It's 6.
That's a nice old EMP. That's a total of 6 caught in that one. Black Magic and Andy down. We get the Coalescence on top of that. Terriamon and Sky and Silent all go for the tactical reset. There's the team kill. 2 ults is pretty good value on that one for Kentucky.
That is why the 6-man, I mean, is so good. Even if you have the Lucio, you're trying to speed up past this bridge as soon as possible. And that means you gotta play together with the Lucio. The possibility is not going to be there just to try to avoid it, to use that sound barrier to keep the team alive.
Okay, University of Kentucky are pressing the advantage, but there was nothing out of that Death Blossom from Andy. And Terriamon is now forced to use the Coalescence just to buy some space. Will find the first kill, but Silence already traded out here. In comes Andy with the Death Blossom. Finds one, finds the DMAC. And that's going to be enough here for Central Methodist University to flip the point. May see a little more progress given over to Kentucky before the flip comes through. And they've done that with 72% in the bank. For Kentucky, this is one fight and a bit of time on the point, and it's their map.
This is one of the hardest maps to recontest. Once you lose that point, there's so many stop opportunities for any of the teams. It's going to be the Wrecking Ball, the Lucio that we already have in the field, even the Moira being able to fade away. It's going to delay that as soon as possible. With 72 still looking good for Kentucky, it's just got to be building that EMP again. And they're already looking so close with that 70%.
Yeah, Silent needs to be quick here because Shinkai is getting very close to lapping them in terms of ult percentage. In fact, it's about to happen. Shinkai at 93. Silent just gets theirs online, but Black Magic is sort of down. That EMP needs to be on the table right now, and it's going to be Shinkai that pulls the pin first. Counter EMP comes out from Silent, and George survives the EMP and gets the sound barrier on. Andy now closes the distance, has the Death Blossom, gets hacked out, but looks like they're not going to need it here. The damage has been done. University of Kentucky, and we are looking at the cap here with a scant 50% on the board for Central Methodist University.
It is looking so good, but 2 EMPs being able to connect just enough for the side of Kentucky. That is all that they need. Central Methodist and Silent was not able to do enough. So it's going to be the last cleanup coming through. They will be passing almost at 80 to 90%. As the cleanup finishes, it's taking quite a bit.
I mean, look, I called this fight done about 30 seconds ago in Central Methodist University. They had other ideas. They kept that going until almost level cap percentage with the University of Kentucky. But it's 80% and climbing now. Central Methodist University only have this coalescence in the immediate bank.
You know, Silent is going to the Tracer, hoping to touch the point, hoping to create a little bit more disruption to melt the tanks of the HP of the tanks as soon as possible. And that is the goal that they have here.
Yeah, it's a coalescence to engage from Terriamon, but the self-destruct's going to go in on the back, and Black Magic is down, so there ain't going to be a shield. We get the self-destruct, we get the Death Blossom as well. Terriamon is down. Andy now has a bead on the Tracer, and she's fragile, and she's down. Silent out of the fight, Andy out of the fight, and there's only so much that one Lucio can do to keep this alive, particularly when Andy so clearly has their measure. In jumps the Winston to keep this alive that little bit longer. We will have the Primal Rage from Black Magic, but every crosshair in the lobby is turned in their direction right now. University of Kentucky continues to find the kills, and it's Aspect Cisco with the 2K looking to round out the fight here. We're still keeping this contested, but believe me, this time, this fight is done. No coming back from this one. Having said that, there's a double from Andy. Almost. I almost cursed it back for them, but it's 1-1 on Li Jiang Tower.
And it's looking really close. That is why I like to see control maps towards the beginning, because we get to see many different compositions being played and who's able to play what better. So here, even though it was a lot of back and forth, especially towards the end, it was University of Kentucky being able to stay on top on that 6-man composition, working out perfectly. And as we approach the last map of Li Jiang Tower, now we see the rush coming in. And this is a must. I think the Reinhardt is always going to be a must. There's a lot of questions on what DPS you want to bring. Some people like to bring the Junkrat, like we see both of the teams at least aiming towards, but there's so many other possibilities, even a Tracer towards the end. Anything that can help the team just put even more pressure to the enemy.
Yeah, once again, we've got a very similar composition across the board, and it's just our mountain ranges that differ slightly. That's right, it's all different in the Andes here. It's Cassidy versus Symmetra, and that's going to give the Symmetra a lot of shield break, but it's Andy on the Cassidy that finds the first pick here. Aspect Cisco is down. Immortality Field now out of the way for Central Methodist University. Kentucky starting to back away here. I think they realized that they maybe not in this fight as strongly as they might like to be. Black Magic starts to close the distance, takes a big face full of damage there, has to put up the shield and has to back away, buy some time for the sports to bring them back up, but it looks like Central Methodist University have this handily controlled for now, but expect a quick push back from Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the Cassidy getting the initial pick onto the Baptistas, the enemy team, it was Central Methodist's fight to win, and that is exactly what they do. They gain percentage. The shield gets broken. There's nothing that Kentucky can do here. Everyone one by one is forced to back up. And again, it is Central Methodist putting so much pressure with the Junkrat and even with the Cassidy having a Deadeye available just to use it, controlling a little bit more space, controlling a little bit more of that percentage.
Well, a couple of options available here for Kentucky in this next fight, as they will have the Photon Barrier and the Riptire. Riptire, famously a very difficult ult to find big value with, but it is on the table. And it's going to find Sky, but Sky actually had the overshield there from the Lucio Sound Barrier. So the Riptire gets nothing, and in the meantime, INH is down. That's the main tank off the table. In fact, that's the off tank off the table here as well, save for the pilot form. We're going to see Silent commit this Riptide here. I mean, the damage has been done. This is just disrespectful from Silent.
And 3 kills with the tire, looking good for Central Methodist to continue holding this point, especially because it was towards the end. So now Kentucky, they're going to have to wait. They're going to match the Cassidy as well. So it's going to be a complete mirror match that we see between these two teams, looking really good as well as they pass 70%.
Looking at what we've got on the board in terms of ults, though, we will have the Cassidy ult behind Noon from Andy, and we've got the Shatter here. So, space control and kill potential on the table here for Central Methodist. We'll see that amplification matrix up, but Black Magic's able to rotate around it. Andy did throw in the High Noon there, but it found no value at all. It's forcing resources out of University of Kentucky. Sky gets put on the ground. University of Kentucky coming in big with the kills. That's to care of INH. And we're going to see Central Methodist take this all the way to 99-0, but University of Kentucky, for the first time in this submap, have the points in their favor.
but it's going to be risky. A single mistake is going to cost them life on this map. So it's going to be a perfect run from them. The tire will be available soon, hoping to get something like Silent was able to get early on, but it's very difficult. It is once in a million times that we often see that happening, especially when you have an immortality on the field.
At the very least, it could be useful for flushing that particular utility out. It's going to be Andy guarding there with the high noon, but has to pull the trigger early and back away from the amplification matrix. Great positioning there from Terriamon, and that's going to allow CMU to start to close in. It's a little bit high, it's a little bit wide there with the self-destruct from Sky. Here's Brandon 08's attempt to get something done with that, and the immortality field keeps the team alive through that. Andy able to find one, but receives a stun and everything else in the world in their face. It's 97 for 42 here. University of Kentucky are still finding kills. Looks like this is their fight to win. Central Methodist University threw a lot at that fight, and frankly, they didn't get a whole lot with it.
And it lasted way too long for Central Methodist, that fight. You lose a couple members, you gotta go for the reset and control map, so you don't have any opportunities to continue coming back. And as we see Kentucky passing that 60%, it is getting closer and closer for them to take the victory. They have all the ultimates as well to initiate. We talked about the tire and how effective it can be. Both of the teams now will be having that.
It's going to be who can find the most value with this one, because it's really the only tool Central Methodist have as we round 75% control for Kentucky. And it finds nothing. Andy's able to take that out of the fight. But the other Andy will find the equalizer, taking Shinkai, who did have that ultimate, out of the fight again. Rather than await closes the distance with Terriamon up on the high ground. No, sorry, not Terriamon, that's Silent up on the high ground. Amplification Matrix is up, and INH is down. Black Magic gets the Shatter online. No need to drop the hammer when the hammer does just fine, swung through the air at a rate of knots. Here comes the flip for Central Methodist University. Shinkai can't quite land the tire. It's 99 to 98. Can we get a touch here from University of Kentucky? Shatter comes out. The counter Shatter. 2 on the ground here, Central Methodist University, but the immortality field keeps Black Magic alive. And there's the cap. There's the map. CMU for the first point on the board.
That is a good way to start us off today with Overwatch is getting that momentum going back and forth even to the 99% that we were able to see. It was Central Methodist though being able to stay on top and to fix those mistakes a little bit faster. That initial pick that you take in maps like this is so crucial every single time.
I think one of the nice things about this is sometimes you come up at a match this late in the season and one team has progressed so much further than the other team even, that it can be a little bit of a whitewash. But that control map was very, very close for a lot of it. Sure, there were times where it got to 99 to 0 before the flip came through, but you know, there were no zeros at the end of either of those submaps. So we should be in for, at the very least, a full 5 maps. I think we don't mind predicting that here. Shouldn't just be a 3-0 stomp if that's anything to go by.
Yeah, definitely. And especially because we were able to see so many compositions already being played. That is why I like to see maps like Legion Tower and like Busan. When we start with those, we get a good indication of how comfortable teams feel with specific compositions. So in a scenario like this, it seems like the rush was really coming back and forth, but I think nonetheless it was Central Method is the one staying on top, and I think rush is one of those compositions that you can play in most maps than many others.
One of the things I would like to know a little bit is we've seen kind of this, like, to me, it looks like one team very specifically setting a pace with a composition that works, and the other team coming in trying to adapt and to match that, eventually going on to the mirror. And I believe University of Kentucky seemed to be the one coming out of the gates with a more stable composition, and Central Methodist then looking to change to adapt to that. At this stage in the tournament, how important is being able to get the upper hand with the correct pick first in the series?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be crucial. At the same time, you want to more than bring something new, you want to study what the enemy team will be bringing as well, right? I feel like it's going to be crucial, especially as we approach those playoffs, on the different possibilities of your enemy. If your enemy really likes to play rush, I feel like rush is one of those most standard compositions. As your team starts to build that synergy together, we're most likely to see rush over an Orisa Diva or a double bubble, just because it's a composition that is easy to get the synergy on, to get that communication going. So again, I think it's a lot of studying all the other teams more than anything, while you also figure out what works out best for you.
I think one of the other things that we've not seen so far today that we do occasionally see, particularly on Lijiang as a submap, is the Wrecking Ball pick, particularly where we've got potentially teams coming back late into the fight where they're looking to stall out as long as possible. Are we currently in a era of Overwatch where the Wrecking Ball is maybe no longer the tank of the day?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've never been really a fan of the Wrecking Ball. I feel like the composition where we would see that Wrecking Ball coming through very often. It was not the greatest. It was very messy because you're depending so much on the Wrecking Ball to create that space and to create that space and put that pressure on the backline of the enemy team. So there's a lot of the what if they're able to create space, and you're also getting that support with the Tracer. So definitely not the biggest fan. Doesn't mean that it's not a viable pick. Sure. Of course, a lot of teams like to play it, but it's one of those heroes that you really have to feel comfortable bringing in.
Yeah, I think it needs to play with a lot of playtime and a great affinity for that particular kind of movement-based hero. So early on in the day, maybe we see it come out a little bit later. I, for one, more than happy to see some Reinhardt Rush. Always a good thing to cast, always a good thing to watch. Speaking of watching, coming up next, we do have our next map locked in. It will be a payload map, and this time, Dryad, we're going to Route 66. Now, Route 66, I think, spells a couple of things. Long-range hit scan, particularly on point A, maybe a Pharah here and there. Given what we've seen so far, are we expecting any of that kind of stuff to come out, or do we think the compositions we've seen so far will also run on Route 66?
Yeah, I mean, I think Route 66 is one of those maps where you can bring a lot of things that we haven't seen yet. The Pharah, the Echo, one of my favorites, one of the strongest as well right now in Overwatch. I would say I favor the Echo a little bit more, and you're also able to take control of the high ground on first and second part of the map more than anything, which is so crucial. I think the D.Va as well works out perfectly. So I would say a little bit of the hybrid mix between what we've seen already and what we can expect next.
Okay, well, no need to speculate any longer. We're going to be starting Route 66. Here we are with Central Methodist University, starting on the defense. And we've got the Hanzo and the Cassidy coming out from the DPS lineup. And for the rest of the team, well, business as usual. It will be a Reinhardt-based rush.
The Reinhardt as well, and the way that they're trying to stop the enemy and the attacking side from pushing to this corner, that is going to be the key. While the rest of the team, including the D.Va, is going to not only appeal for the supports a little bit, but also make sure that the high ground belongs to them. This is the way they just win and control that first part of the map. So we'll see what happens in Central Methodist and their defensive position.
Okay, University of Kentucky coming out on kind of a weird dive here with a Soldier and a Tracer. The Tracer makes sense. The Soldier may be a little bit strange here. Let's see how that works out for them. Burst damage already starting to fend Andy back a little bit. Gives up the high ground. Looking to rotate with the additional speed the Soldier brings you. Trying to land up a Helix rocket there. That's a lot of damage, and Terriamon is down. This is a great initial pick, and the Soldier 76 already paying dividends.
And it was just a bad positioning from this Baptiste, really. Just pushing forward, trying to connect the heals with the Reinhardt. But if you're pushing that much, you know that Kentucky, this is what they were waiting for. The Baptiste gets taken down, most of the heals are down. So you start to push the point, and so far it is working out.
Wow, that was razor-thin stuff there from Brandon Away. 108 HP, just gets the kill onto the Hanzo and gets out with their lives here. And University of Kentucky have pushed this more or less uncontested here. It's been a very messy defense from Central Methodist so far.
Yeah, and they're looking for the recontest, especially right at the end. But you already lost a high ground, and you're hoping for something else to happen here, especially with this Reinhardt leading them.
Yeah, looking for Black Magic to be the tip of the spear here. Aspect Cisco will have that nano boost. He uses it, I think, just going to be able to keep the Winston alive here. Oh, the Shatter comes through, and this is great from University of Kentucky. They survive through the Shatter, and Brandon 08's going to receive this nano boost. Gets in, finds the cleave damage, looking to get the kill onto the Lucio, who just skates their way over the top. A little bit of a contest there, buys a couple more seconds for Central Methodist University on the defense, but University of Kentucky win the engagement overall.
And I really don't think that the nano was needed. Luckily, this is one of the ultimates that you're able to build the fastest, but it came late into the fight. We usually see the nano to initiate the fight, giving to Winston, and then the Winston using that Primal Rage. So that is why we see that Branding is deciding to not use it, play a little bit more passive. It wasn't really necessary as they continue on the second part.
It's two very different attempts at a dive composition here. Sound barrier out from George. Silence able to find one pick, takes out the opposite number. Self-destruct connects, and Sky is able to find Andy. Also finds the D-Mech here. Central Methodist University with a quick about turn and a wholesale swap on the team comp. Looks to come in and remount the hold here. George able to find one last closing kill as Andy rounds 50% of the ultimate gained. And University of Kentucky finally get pushed out. Nice interrupt there on the rebound.
Very much needed control from this defense in Central Methodist, where finally the payload gets to stop for a little bit long. George now going into the brig, and it is going to be a massive difference, right? Even looking at the ultimates, Kentucky is going to walk in with a rally, pushing forward, and even hoping to get a couple kills when you have that tactical visor.
Staten has the potential here for a pretty big kill potential, but that Pulseman goes out and finds nothing, which means that University of Kentucky are still pretty strong in this fight. And he's taking an off angle here, back towards the cart, has a nice line onto Central Methodist University. Damage has been done, no need to commit any more of those ultimates, although Brandonov will get in with the Primal Rage and find the pick onto George here. So Central Methodist University, whilst they did get their hand on the steering wheel very briefly, University of Kentucky yank it right back in and correct course.
And it's just the rally is so terrifying. There's so much pressure that is being put just to pass those choke points, and that is exactly what Kentucky was able to do. Now they have the nano to give to the Winston. That's also going to enable him to build that primary rage as soon as possible, putting a lot of pressure into Central Methodist.
Oh, great eat there from Sky. That's the pulse bomb from Slinkai, not able to find anything here, so that's at least one off the table. Andy's able to find one here with a Death Blossom. Silent gets the opposite number, and again it's a resting of the reel back from University of Kentucky, but not without casualties. Andy is now down, and I wonder if we see a swap here from Andy so that we get something more of a mirror matchup.
We are, though, yeah, we're going to see a change from Andy and Central Methodist with the Sombra, and also for Aspect on the Moira, bringing the Moira, and so Sombra and Moira being brought to the table. The Nanos doesn't seem to work out the way that they wanted to for Kentucky, so I feel like the Moira should be a little bit more effective for them, especially with that initial pick.
That's unfortunate. Sky caught whilst trying to remech there, puts you Central Methodist University firmly in 5v6 territory, and he is trying desperately to get some kind of handle there on Silent, who lands the pulse bomb but won't find the kill. Seems like there's a big anti on point, but nothing coming out of it. Shinkai is able to find the double, already 50% of the way to the EMP as Brandonov gets in with the Primal Rage, boops everyone off point, and there's the cap. Looking like we are on our way to point C here, Dragon.
Get to the last part of the map here with 3 minutes for Kentucky. Looking good, looking pretty comfortable as well with the next EMP that will be coming through as soon as possible. We saw how effective an ultimate like this can be already residing in Elite Giant Tower. So Kentucky, they want to show it again. And when you have an EMP and a Coalesce, this is a perfect combination just to put the pressure against Central Methodist.
Andy has outpaced Shinkai here, although Shinkai now has the EMP online as well. There's the combo, and that's the bomb's going to find two. Andy and Black Magic taken off the table. Andy had also connected the EMP here. Silence able to find Brandon. Silence able to find the second. Aspect Cisco now has the Coalescence online. Silent may have done some damage here to the overall team comp of University of Kentucky, but most of the team are able to back out. And now we see them bounce right the way back in. Aspect Cisco comes in with the Coalescence, but there's nothing they can do against the purple that lands in care of Terrium. Brandon 08 hacked, in a bit of trouble now, down to half HP. No real escape tools available to them, and Black Magic able to find one kill. Skies able to find the second here, and Central Methodist University about halfway through point C once more put the brakes on. 2 minutes left on the clock here for University of Kentucky, and they've definitely come back from worse than this.
And it's mostly just the timing of the EMP that didn't really seem right. The Celtic Shock took 2 of the members of Kentucky, and then the EMP came in, so there was no possibility to get that response that you wanted to with the team. As to see that Andy for Central Methodist is getting taken down. That is the opening that they were waiting for, the Winston.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate. Main tank, definitely not somebody you want to be losing this late into the game, particularly when the Primal Rage was just about to come online. The benefit here for Central Methodist is they do have ults to spare, but I don't think they know that Andy is up here on the high ground, waiting for the drop down with the Death Blossom. Closes the gap, waits for some of that defense matrix, might even be going for the D-Mech here onto the Diva. Momentarily backs away. That's going to be it coming out, but a hacked out of the ultimate. Has already found one D-Mech. but George did behind Andy, and Central Methodist University, care of the sound barrier provided by George, look like they're able to materialize one last hold here. We're now down below the minute marker. University of Kentucky get one more good bite at this cherry.
If you're Central Methodist, you wanted to save that sound barrier for the next fight, but at least you have the confidence of the EMP that will be available. So really, it's a matter of what EMP will be coming through first, just to guarantee those kills.
It's a game of chicken. Andy and Shinkai at it. Shinkai on the high ground. Spots both the supports. Maybe just wants that EMP there. No. Dodges it. Instead, rotates up to the high ground behind them. Will pull the pin. That's 3 caught out here. Silent capitalizes on it. Finds the double. Black Magic's able to take Aspect Cisco out of the fight. Now, 20 seconds. They could have dragged that fight out a little bit longer. So University of Kentucky will almost certainly manage a touch, and they will still have the EMP.
There's definitely a need to make that fight a little bit longer. This is going to be the last opportunity now for Kentucky to recontest with the EMP that Andy already used earlier.
There it is. There's the tag, and there's the EMP. That's going to hit 4. Self-destruct comes in from downtown, finds nothing, but Andy finds that opposite number. Silence out of the fight. Black Magic out of the fight here as well. And the overtime lick is burning down here. University of Kentucky finding the kills they need. We're going to get a Hail Mary for self-destruct from Sky, but everybody makes themselves scarce, and there's no kills coming through here. Andy pulls the ripcord. No kills, but enough space bought here to allow University of Kentucky to move forward and start to pile on to what is left of Central Methodist University. Aspect Cisco playing at range with the Kamehameha there, looking to try and burn down Black Magic. 1,000 HP might be a big number, but when all 6 crosshairs are turned in your direction, Black Magic, well, you saw how long you lasted.
It was such an unfortunate situation for the last fight from Central Methodist as well. The sound barrier was available. That would have been the key to win that fight, just to keep the team a little bit alive for a little bit longer. But couldn't really connect, couldn't really come up in time. And so Kentucky able to complete the map. They didn't even have any time though. It was that overtime, so Central Methodist looking to have a little bit of the better performance just with the time remaining. And they really have the potential to do so.
It almost feels a bit unfortunate, right? Because University of Kentucky had such a good point A. They had a pretty good point B. They came in with a multiple-minute time bank into point C. And Central Methodist, not through anything particularly flashy or particularly consistent, just able to wear University of Kentucky down over time. And looks like we've momentarily lost tank here for University of Kentucky. Luckily, that's happened before anybody got any ult charge on the board, so not the biggest problem in the world here for Kentucky.
Yeah, they could just wait for that reconnection to happen in the meantime. But yeah, it gives us a little bit more time to talk about this team. So I think that, like you said, first and a little bit of second point was pretty good for Kentucky. They were pushing for, especially that first one when they got that initial pick into the Baptiste. But the thing about the third part of the map, with not only Route 66, but with many other maps, is that the defense will be having that spawn advantage coming in one by one. And we saw it at the end. They lost a couple members in some of the fights, but because of the spawn advantage and because of the pressure that was being put from the defense, they were able to come back right in.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, maybe the unfortunate thing, maybe the fortunate thing of this kind of map is that you do reach a point where your respawn rate becomes a big problem, and it means that you've got to have such high momentum coming into point C as the offensive team that you can get most of the way through C without losing a team fight, without losing that momentum. And we've seen that's a very difficult ask because University of Kentucky did just that. They came in again with that big time bank, and we just saw it get whittled away and whittled away and whittled away. And what it really needs is like a couple of pre-planned, big, impactful ultimates that you know intrinsically how to capitalize on. And we've seen maybe some of those not come together in quite the way we might like mistimed EMP bombs, which is already a tricky thing to pull off. And I feel like the entirety of this series is going to come down to small margins of error like that between these two teams.
And I think, yeah, the EMP was absolutely a key, just because you gotta get the timing right, but you also gotta get the response of your team right. Because only the EMP is not really going to do much, so it's a matter of the bomb coming through at the same time, the death plasma as well coming through at the same time, and it's coordinating those two ultimates often, or the aggression of your team after that EMP, what matters the most. And I don't think there's been mistakes, to say the least, for both of them on how and when they use the ultimate.
I think one of the nice things that we've currently got about this match in particular is whilst maybe the ultimates haven't been as clean as we might liked, generally we're seeing a lot of variety from our DPS lineup. From the rest of the team, maybe a little less, but I think just in that one round, we had Cassidy, Soldier, Hanzo, Reaper, Tracer, Sombra, like 6 different DPS heroes played across one map across 3 points. I think puts a lot of emphasis on how variable the game can be at the minute and how clued in you've got to be to what the answers are to each of those picks and when to change and when you can predict when your opponent's going to change. So we are seeing some very variable Overwatch at the minute.
Absolutely. And even on the supporters, we saw a couple of changes. Not too much, but we definitely saw the change from the Ana to the Moira. And then you're going to get a little bit more support to the Lucio, both of them able to fade away. While when you have an Ana and a Lucio, you're going to depend... the rest of your team is going to be a little bit more aware of your positioning as an Ana, making sure that you're in the back lane, you're not overextending, and you're staying alive. So the Lucio has to peel for the Ana, the D.Va has to peel for the Ana. It puts a lot more pressure. When you jump into a Moira, though, it becomes a little bit more easier for them.
Okay, University of Kentucky all back in the lobby, and we're seeing double shield for the first time this match. So that's Brandon up on the Sigma and Ian Ini. I need to correct the pronunciation on that one. On the Orisa here. So, a bit more of a bunker setup.
Yeah, the double shield is pretty common to see it on this map, on this defense. It's going to be that poke, but it's going to be the key, and already getting a really nice headshot. As a good way to start it out. University of Kentucky, they're just looking to poke the enemy team as much as possible, especially when they have the hands of breaking the shield of the enemy, denying this high ground for as long as possible.
Yeah, and this hold up on Big O's, yes, it gives over a lot of space here, but you can contest quite easily from the top of it and stop that cart gaining progress. Nice use of the coach gun there, stops the dive coming through, and now Black Magic is trapped on the low ground while there is a whole host of shields in the way of University of Kentucky. Looks like we have got a pesky Tracer from Silent in the back here. Shinkai momentarily rotates to try and deal with that, but it's back facing forward now for Andy, and twice in a row here, Black Magic, you've got to understand that coach gun is going to be on cooldown, waiting for you to make that dive. Back in, will find the bubble, now has some purchase on the high ground, but not enough to make this their own high ground. Silent takes the majority of an arrow to the face, and that one comes out of it with 10 HP. And Shinkai once more on Silent, doing a very good job of keeping them in check. Will land the shot, and that's it. Back over to the front, takes a bit of damage, and Black Magic is down. This bunker composition for University of Kentucky already proving to be working beautifully.
I already like the composition of Kentucky on the defense more than what we saw from Central Methodist, because not only they're playing the double shield, which is really good for the poke and really good for building the ultimates that everyone almost is about to have, but also they know how to maintain that high ground. They're denying that space. Look at that. The jump is not going to connect to Winston.
No, but this time there was a backup in play. The Primal Rage comes through, but overlapped with the Nano Boost, which is not typically how you want to line up those ultimates. And Shinkai finds the first pick here so far. With 2 ults invested, there's been nothing on the table for Central Methodist University. University of Kentucky still on the high ground, still unbothered, still unfazed, moisturized in their lane and flourishing.
About half of the time that has been burned out for this attacking team of Central Methodist, trying to get this payload to move. Nothing really has been working out for them. The Nano, the Winston with the Primal Rage. Now you're hoping to create that pressure with the Bob into point and then try to get the last kill. If this D.Va... No, there you go.
I think there were better ways to manage that stagger, frankly, from Sky. I think went the wrong way, to be perfectly honest. Move over towards that edge, take the tactical reset if you can. They were not going to let you get in that mech. That was a solid 10 seconds burnt on that.
Yeah, even a little bit more, just taking into account when the last fight ended, but at least they have a pretty good reset happening for Central Methodist. You can expect everyone to be able to push together. The Nano will be coming through as well as the heals connect with the Winston.
Okay, we do get a nice angle on the Bob here. With the self-destruct in over the top, but nice shield placing and immortality field on University of Kentucky side. Wow, that's a big purple. Wow, that's a big purple from Terriamon. They're going to find the kills largely on the back of that here. That's incredibly clean. Like, a lot got thrown at that, but the breadth of that purple from Terriamon cannot be understated.
A massive anti-nade connecting with the side of Kentucky is going to give us first point to the attacking side of Central Methodist as they continue to push. It is not one of those anti-nades that we see happening very often, so really a lot of respect to make it happen. And as well as the response that we saw for the rest of the team, while Kentucky, they are trying to set up on the high ground.
I'm looking at ults on the table, and there's not really that much to be played with. Terriamon with the Nano, Brandon will have the Gravitic Flux, and we've also got the Bob coming online for Andy. So there's some potential here, but it favors University of Kentucky. Dive comes in, Coach Gun to respond. That's what, 5 times we've seen that on broadcast. The dive comes back in, though, but they've already lost Silent. And this high ground position is incredibly defensible for University of Kentucky. Landing the rock. Brandon doesn't have to use the Gravitic Flux just yet, but is now getting a little bit bullied. There's an angry Primate in the back. Out comes the Flux. That's just going to be the Ana caught in that, but a kill is a kill. Brandon up onto the high ground. Now deploys the shield. Shinkai closes the distance, comes to the aid of the Sigma, and University of Kentucky keep this defensive position. And oh, Sky, we're doing this dance again, are we, my friend?
Oh, gonna try to run away, get the kill. It's going to take quite a bit in the meantime. But Shinkai, though, this is a player that I wanted to highlight from early on. Has been getting so many headshots, especially towards the beginning of this round. Really making a difference for the team right when they need to. Sky will be getting back in mech. Everyone seems to be ready, waiting a couple seconds before pushing in. And you're really hoping for this Dragons to create the space that the team needs. And, or, you know, another headshot.
Man, as if the headshot alone wasn't enough damage, that gets doubled through the amplification matrix, and it just completely shuts down the push from Central Methodist University. It's going to buy another 15 seconds. We're seeing Andy on the Sombra this time. Into the back, looking for a hack just to generate this ultimate. That's the game here. That's the prime goal for Andy. Get in, hack a tank, get some ult charge, get out again, win on the back of the MP. In comes the dive, though. Central Methodist have now dislodged University of Kentucky. We get an self-destruct into the back. Will find Shinkai this time. University of Kentucky now a player down and looking a little bit battered and a little bit bruised. Then he commits the supercharge hit, but that gets immediately taken off the table, and Central Methodist University finally get their name on the board on point B. But they've done this whilst not moving the cart at all, which means University of Kentucky will get another go here. And look at this, a rally, a bob, a Gravitic Flux. Very hard work for Central Methodist in this next fight.
Absolutely. So it's got to be moving the payload as much as you can, making one more fight into the second part of the map and seeing if how far you can make it. You can tell that Andy is trying to grind for that EMP as much as possible. 78 will be coming through for the next fight, and in the meantime, the Coalescence is ready.
Yeah, Rally, Coalescence, a lot of abilities here that cannot have their damage mitigated, and that is a long way down from Terriamon. Instead, we've got Black Magic trying to make up the difference here with the Primal Rage. But again, 1000 HP is only very good when you're maybe against one or two other people. Up against an entire team, a little bit harder to work. And it's George with the clutch sound barrier that buys a little bit more time, a little bit more presence for Andy to get that EMP online. And it's George now currently on fire, currently trying to go toe-to-toe with his enemy number. That's Mad Jack down, that's Aspect Cisco down. It's overtime here on Route 66, but Central Methodist University hold on and get a crack at point C. That's 90 seconds remaining in the map.
If the EMP was going to connect to someone, it had to be the supports, and that is exactly what happened. Central Methodist and Andy was able to do just that. Forcing the Aspect again to go into the Moira. The Ana is not going to work out anymore, and they're hoping to put a little bit more pressure. So once again, it comes to both the supports, both the tanks, looking to a very similar composition. The only difference here is going to be the Hanzo that we already talked about, how many kills has been getting, and Andy on the Sombra.
With a minute left to go in the game, I don't know if it's sensible for Shinkai to make a swap off of the Hanzo. Self-destruct up onto the high ground. Shinkai just able to dodge that one. Saw maybe the telltale streaks of... Oh my days! Why was that not on camera? Silent with the 4K with the self-destruct. This has done immeasurable damage to the University of Kentucky defense. Look how close that card is towards the end here. University of Kentucky scramble for swaps. It's going to be a last-second brawl contest. They're going to have to do this in the neutral here. Central Methodist University start to buy a lot of space, and George is down. The mortality field now spent, but the University of Kentucky with the respawns heavily in their favor, and with the kills starting to accrue, Terriamon will get the Coalescence online, but it's not going to be enough. University of Kentucky with a last-minute swap look to get this done. It's 9 seconds on the clock, and I don't think anybody from CMU can touch. Oh, it's Andy on the high ground. with a last-second contest. 1 second down, there it is. We get that going. It's time now for George to get back onto the point. Lucio against the world, and Andy deals with them. It's a big EMP, and we're back on the ball. There's no kills. There just wasn't anybody there to follow up on the EMP. And Sky, the last remaining member of Central Methodist University, cannot make this happen in the face of the onslaught of the University of Kentucky. And after 2 maps, Dryad, we are all tied up.
This is exactly what we expected between these two teams. It's a 1-1 and looking pretty good so far for both of them. But right now, it was Kentucky being highlighted from beginning to end. It was the Hanso getting so many kills, but it was also the timing that worked out so much better for them. And on the last fight, it was Central Methodist being able to win the fight prior with a Reaper 4K. And then forcing and hoping that they could get the last one. It wasn't really enough. They had 20 seconds remaining. And on those 20 seconds remaining, after losing a couple members, they decide to invest the coalescence. I think for that approach, what you do is you just go for the reset, go for the last fight with the coalescence into the last one. But we couldn't really see that, so it's going to be Kentucky taking Route 66.
Yeah, very well played from both teams. I think that could have come either way. And, I was ready to call that for CME on the back of that 4K Death Blossom. Very, very smart stuff there from University of Kentucky, just to go, okay, no, take a breath. We've got time. Come out as a 6. Let's not stagger. Let's just go out and win a neutral fight. And the cojones that you need to have that line of thought and to play it properly and to make it work absolutely deserves to be rewarded. I do wonder, though, we saw an awful lot of this attempted dive on point A. Time and time again, we saw the Winston dive interrupted by the coach gun from University of Kentucky. Was that a sign, do we think, that CMU maybe had a game plan that wasn't working, but they just didn't think there was a better way to handle this? Like, what keeps a team doing this kind of failed approach time and time and time again?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that either the composition lasted for way longer than it had to, or they thought they could make it work eventually just by trying to counter the Ash. But how are you going to counter the Ash if you can't really get close enough? So it just it goes in a circle where there's not really an answer. To me, it had to be a change happening, and the way that you countered that double shield had to be the dive, but without the Ash, because there's so many stuns and so many times, like you said, that it just really wasn't connecting the way that Winston wanted to in the Anna as well.
Well, that's 1-1 after 2 maps, so we're going to throw it to a short break while we get our teams ready to go into the next part of the series. Don't go far because we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes.
I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' as kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big. Jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big. The only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine. Now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 Classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Wow.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with the second half of today's broadcast. It's currently 1 apiece for Kentucky, University of Kentucky Esports and Central Methodist Esports. And we are moving into our next map. It's going to be our 2CP Assault map, however you'd like to call that. And we're going to Hanamura Dryad. What do you reckon of that as a pick?
Hanamura is always going to be an interesting map, just for the different crazy possibilities that we might be seeing. We know that second part of the map is going to be amazing for the defense, but at the same time, I feel like both of the teams have already proved themselves to be really good at breaking through that defense every single time. We haven't really seen a scenario where the attackers are stuck in the situation for maybe over a minute. They're able to get away with it pretty easily. So that is a good confident boost. I always wonder why, in first part of the map, that is not the main concern for the defense, but more of the second. So it's just a matter of how much you can make it last, taking control of the high ground. I wouldn't deny the possibility of bringing a little bit more of what we just saw with the Orisa even. Just taking control, or is a really good hero just to maintain space. So, I mean, why not bring into a map like this one?
Yeah, I think that's a real likelihood, and particularly given that we're actually seeing a side swap here, so it's going to be University of Kentucky Esports starting on the defense this time, so playing in the blue for those of you watching along at home. So they clearly think they maybe have the upper hand on this initial defense, given how strong their defense was first time through on Route 66. Let's going to see if it works out for them this time. Of course, Hanamura, as you said, plenty of options here, and it looks like we're actually not going to be seeing that double shield. Instead, it's back over onto the dive, and Shinkai coming in on the Hanzo yet again.
And I mean, it wouldn't really make sense to not bring this hero. We saw so many possibilities of getting headshots, of bringing something else. Actually, it's going to be instead the defense bringing the Ashe and a soldier as well. So why not? Also going to help out just controlling that space as much as possible. The soldier, it is one of those picks that I'm often hesitant to see, but has also been proving to get some amazing shots if you're enabling the soldier for success. So that is the key for this defense, just enabling both of the DPS for success while everyone else is providing the healing and the space.
Well, if it isn't our old friend, the Sim TP strat. Straight to point, a lot of damage in, but will successfully make that rotation, and we will see that the car wash has been set up, and there is the first tick gain. University of Kentucky struggled to actually get in and fight against this very close quarters raw composition. That's a good start there. Aspect Cisco actually lands a big anti, but there's just not enough punching power left here for University of Kentucky, and Central Methodist University read them like a book. 6 minutes, 20 seconds, and they're just about to go into point B.
There's so much time remaining. There's so many possibilities. The University of Kentucky, they didn't even have time to set up.
Oh, wow. Didn't land the flashbang, but landed the fan the hammer, certainly. Looks like we will have a bit of a separation. Aspect Cisco appears to have been caught out by Sky, but Black Magic is on the point and swing it away. We'll see a couple of kills coming through from University of Kentucky, but Andy, through the amplification matrix, takes out their opposite number, Andy. Madjack takes them out again, and there's the cap. That is nearly 6 minutes in the time bank, and I want to stress, that is a phenomenal time bank.
Really good time for this attacking team. They didn't waste a single second. It was the TP coming in right into first point, then connecting from first to second, and just making it happen. University of Kentucky, the thing is that they got taken down so fast, and that the attacking side was pushing so fast that they didn't even have time to set up on the high ground, which can be so beneficial on this point. There's no opportunity for anything. Everyone for Kentucky got shot down, and they were definitely not expecting so much aggression. I mean, it's so unlikely to see something like this.
I think it's a little bit complicated because of how quickly that happened, and I'm not entirely sure that this is precisely what happened, but it looked to me like Aspect Cisco was trying to make the transition back to point A whilst the time was ticking down, whilst the rest of University of Kentucky was still looking to hold back and fight A. And so Sky just stayed out there, stopped Aspect Cisco coming back, and then meant the University of Kentucky were so down in terms of healing output that it didn't matter that Sky on the off tank wasn't there for Central Methodist.
Yeah, absolutely. And even you brought it up at some point, the Ana was that was just not there for the fight on the defensive side. It was fighting with the diva of the side of Central Methodist. So the healings were not there. The heal could not be provided for this team. And now the attacking side, we're looking forward to do a little bit of the similar strategy with the TP coming in.
Okay, let's see if turnaround is fair play. The wall comes up and actually stops the University of Kentucky from getting in and properly fighting around that. They've already found the first kill. Aspect Cisco is down, and one tick already gained for University of Kentucky, but Central Methodist are finding ways to punch back here in the way that University of Kentucky couldn't do. Looking to get their way to second, but Shinkai gets the wall up and walls out Central Methodist. They're still keeping on coming through, and that's a quick 1, 2, 3, 4 kills on the trot here for Central Methodist University, and University of Kentucky did not find the same level of success with that Sim TP that Central Methodist had.
Especially because it was not only expected, but also a TP that was not connected in the same way. And Central Methodist, to be fair, they were caught off guard a little bit towards the beginning. That is why they lost one tick, but nothing else could have been done. They're going for the steam. It's not going to work out, though.
That was a phenomenal wall and phenomenal focus there from George. It's a big pin, though, and Black Magic is down. Brandonov finding the kill there with the heck is happening with that amplification matrix? What? Terry,
oh, you know. It doesn't even, if we have like an echo, you could say, oh, it's for the echo, but no, we don't even have that. It was just a weird amplification.
Yeah, and now University of Kentucky, okay, they're making a different rotation using the teleporter this time, but they're coming into Space Control Ultimates. And that's going to be 2, not from the Space Control Ultimate, from the pure DPS Ultimate. Andy with a flashbang lands the headshot, and the Ryan is down. NHI not able to be in that fight all that much longer. University of Kentucky properly dismantled here. And next time, they're going to have to push into a blizzard.
Probably one of the worst ultimates as well to deal with. I mean, you either put so much pressure into the diva to be able to eat this ultimate, or you're just going in and hoping that it comes out late into the fight.
Alright, well, still with this sim pick, but do at least have the photon barrier this time. So, a little more safety once they get to point, and they are stacking up ultimates. They're looking to have 4 in this next fight. Shinkai just needs a couple more seconds to get that blizzard online, and there's where things start out. But it's a beautiful wall coming in, and out comes the blizzard. It's Silent first, and University of Kentucky are wholesale frozen up here. No kills coming through just yet. In fact, it's going to be Unheed that finds the first one. Magic able to get a second here. Blizzard now out from Silent and Shinkai, so no more of that to deal with. Central Methodist on the ropes a little bit here, but doing an excellent job of burning down time. There is no way they can come anywhere even close to a 6-minute time bank. And now they've got to push push B, with no ults. There is no momentum here for Kentucky.
The snowball potential then gets denied for the side of University of Kentucky as they approach this second point. Central Methodist, they have way more than enough time to set up though, so they're gonna already look better compared to what we saw on the last round, even if the TP comes in.
Okay, well, they successfully made the crossing here, but it's very well telegraphed. It's going to be Andy coming in with the high noon. We've also got a wall there from Silent, so a bit of a weird interaction there. Shadow comes down, and it's big, but they have to divert attention and take the immortality field out of play. Mad Jack's able to find the Reinhardt here, take them out of the picture. Andy looking for someone to start to generate some beam charge here with, but Central Methodist University have largely made themselves scarce. They're playing very, very spread out here. But University of Kentucky, now with a firm foothold on the point, start to crack up in control percentage. There's 2 ticks gained here. We need to see a touch coming through from Central Methodist University, and it comes through. We've got some swaps. Silent now in on the Tracer. Immortality field committed from Terriamon, and the D-Mech still comes through. Sky is gone entirely out of the fight. There's the Blizzard, there's the Photon Barrier, there's the kills, and very shortly, there's the point. Oh, almost. So one last second tag back in from Silent. There's the point. 2 minutes on the clock, and it's a big gap. 3 minutes, 13 seconds between these 2 time banks.
Absolutely. There is so much time in between these 2. 5 minutes 13. Again, that was an insane attack that we saw from Central Methodist on that first round, and they're hoping to do the same. But the thing about crazy plays like that with the TP is that you can really only do them once without it being expected. On this next round that we see on this third round of Hanamura, then it becomes a little bit more predictable as they hope to come through. But nonetheless, it's going to be University of Kentucky, the ones who we want to keep an eye on and what they're able to do, because really they were having quite a lot of difficulty, especially into first point. They tried many different things until finally it was the last couple kills that guaranteed the opening that they needed.
Yeah, it took them a very long time to break the defense, to the point where I think when you are already 3 minutes down in time bank, you don't want to give more than maybe one fight here with the sim before you look at something a little more effective, because it's just so heavily telegraphed.
Absolutely. And it just goes back to that. It goes back to the many possibilities that can happen, but when you have 2 minutes remaining, those different possibilities of even composition they are cut into half. The TP though, it seems like might be coming through again for this attacking team.
Well, let's see if it's, 9th time the charm here on the TP. It seemed like they had slightly better luck when they made this alternative rotation. Here we go, up onto the high ground. There's a very acute angle where you can get that placement in, and that unfortunate wall is up and in. He is down. Both walls now up. tiny Overwatch put off for now, and Central Methodist University with the numbers in their favor. There's the fall on reset for you, okay? Are we seeing swaps here? Because that definitely did not work for them.
It didn't work, especially because Silent has been so good at isolating targets with this main wall. Every single time we saw it here again, it was isolating the Reinhardt, taking him down, and denying any possibility on that first point for Kentucky.
Well, they're still sticking with it. No ults yet, and they've actually gone for the same rotation up onto the high ground this time. Silent stays on the low ground, has the wall ready to go, looking for... Oh, okay, the preemptive wall. Shinkai out first means that there's going to be a second hit before Silent can actually get in. But the wall comes out, and once more, that's going to separate NHA from the rest of the team. But Brandon Up's found the first kill here. The Reinhardt of Black Magic no longer in this fight. Silent down as well here. So University of Kentucky looking a little more composed, a little bit more well put together here on this teleporter play, and crucially, they will have ults coming into this next rush fight onto B.
And a little bit more that has to be done. Amplification will be coming out as well, putting that pressure, creating that space, having a chance here on this first point. Still the boot though.
I mean, look, that's a big boot. Both tanks over the edge, and Madjack gets most of the way towards a sound barrier. Yes, Central Methodist University have bought a little bit more time here, but the trade, the exchange rate here was getting Madjack most of this sound barrier, getting Kentucky most of their ults.
There's a lot of ultimates though for this last fight for this attacking team of Kentucky. Sound barrier, amplification, shatter, so many possibilities for them to win it, but only 20 seconds.
Short charge there for NH. Sound barrier out from George, needed just to buy a little bit of space. We're now down to the final 14 seconds of the fight. Black Magic has the shatter, and that is the only thing currently on the table. Down it goes. That's 2 on the ground, but it doesn't catch Madjack, who has now the sound barrier. Provides it, puts it in over the rest of the team. We actually get to eat there onto the Blizzard. That's huge from Sky, and we get the Deadeye. That's going to buy space. It's unlikely to find kills. The trigger is pulled, and no kills come through. But it has now taken us down into overtime. Andy is able to find a kill. There's the D-Mech. Self-destruct comes through. Won't find anything. Neither does the Remech. Get the Wrecking Ball in from Black Magic to try and keep this alive a little bit longer. But it is hard going, running a Wrecking Ball into a net. At this point, this is down to Central Methodist University just trying to win out the Snaggle War. They've got to come in time after time after time to find kills. Another Photon Barrier from Andy this time buys a lot more safety and chance for the rest of University of Kentucky to come in using the teleporter that is still up there on the left-hand side. Shinkai closes the distance, but has to try and find freeze round a wealth of shields. Shinkai will eventually take George out of the fight. There goes Silent as well. And University of Kentucky are still throwing everything at this fight. Crucially, Aspect Cisco is now down, but Andy is up, and Andy is finding kills a plenty here. There's 1 tick gain. We're looking at 2. Will we see a contest coming through from Central Methodist University? They get in. They just able to land George onto the point. Silent gets in with a Blizzard, but it's not enough. We're getting another round here on Hanamura. It's an overtime cap, but a cap nonetheless for Kentucky.
And an insane overtime that we were able to see. There was nothing else that can be done, but Kentucky was able to do just enough to guarantee that control that they needed, especially towards the end. Is going to look good for them being able to complete it, even after so many difficulties. The spawn advantage was not coming in time, and even if there's 5 minutes and a little bit over that for Central Methodist, they can consume a lot of time into first point, and that is going to match up the timing a little bit better in case we see another round here.
And I do think we're going to see more of the same here from Central Methodist University. Silent already, despite being in spawn and maybe not a pick we should be talking about, hovering over that Symmetra, but it's been a staple here on Hanamura today, and arguably Central Methodist University have had the better time of it. They've got 5 minutes to get a cap on B. If they finish with more than a minute, they get a 1 more run at capping point 1/3 of point A in whatever time they've got remaining. So University of Kentucky at this point are kind of playing for a draw because 5 minutes is a lot of time to get something done for Central Methodist.
Central Methodist is already aiming towards bringing that Symmetra again, so if there's something that we can expect, it's got to be that TP, and I want to see how fast the tanks are able to react to this. It seems like immediately they're playing all the way back.
Yeah, I think they've got to see this coming. Are we going to see the straight to point TP? I think probably not, given where ECAC are currently playing. Instead, it is this high ground rotation. Looks like that was maybe a little rough for the tanks, having to make a bit of a strange rotation along the lower lintels of that structure on the left-hand side. We're going to wait for some cooldowns to come back if Central Methodist Unity before they start to close that in. They need to be careful. Andy still has the wall up here, and that's going to be a big difference maker.
Yeah, and they're waiting to use a wood just in time. Is going to isolate the Reinhardt Riyadh. Again, Mortality has to come out. Will get cancelled. Kentucky, they will be coming up on top now.
Yeah, really unfortunate stuff there. Beautiful wall from Andy, completely separates Black Magic from the rest of the fight. And now for the University of Kentucky, they can afford to drag this out. What they want is to burn time off the clock. They're unlikely to lose this fight until we get a full 6-man advantage back for Central Methodist University. So far, they've not been able to find any kills, but they have got a lot of ult charge on the table. And a little bit slow, actually. We see that Central Methodist University have taken a pincer approach here. They've got the amplification matrix up, and they did have Andy holding the trigger down on that high noon. It's bought them a tick, but it's an expensive tick. It costs 2 ults. The charge comes through, and Shinkai on the Cassidy squashed as flat as a pancake. But University of Kentucky stabilize here, and that's going to be the hold on the defense.
Your recontrol will be coming through for the side of Kentucky, but it's not enough. A lot more is going to be needed for the team, especially because Central Methodist, they were able to get 1 tick when the timing just... It shouldn't have happened. It was only through the amplification and the Reinhardt being able to push together and got taken down. But this guarantees them quite a lot of fights that they can continue doing the same thing.
I think it's very difficult to make this TP work because the idea of the TP is it gives you the defensive position instead of the team currently in hold. Beautiful block of the shield there from Black Magic, doesn't save Sky, and Shinkai is still able to find a kill here with the high noon. Amplification Matrix will always make that little bit easier. However, for University of Kentucky, this is a big investment of ultimates, and they've lost one of their supports. If Central Methodist University regroup quickly, this is their fight for the taking.
But the reset is not full though. Central Methodist, not all the members got taken down, and they're still looking forward to push again.
Yeah, they do have ults here. We've got a high noon. Sand barrier's out. That's the only ult that University of Kentucky had, and that's going to be a high noon pulled, but I believe almost all of that eaten up by the defense matrix. Out comes the shatter. Matt Jack's able to find a kill, but it's a little bit too little. It's a little bit too late. Yes, there are members here from University of Kentucky trying to keep this alive a little bit longer, but it is all just grist for the ult charge mill as Black Magic closes the distance and takes Aspect Cisco out of the fight. One last little hurrah here from Mad Jack 72. And University of Kentucky lose point A. Here we go for Central Methodist University looking to cap point B.
2 minutes and 30. And a little over that. Central Methodist looking forward for that second point. But this is already a difference that we haven't even seen today between the two teams. Kentucky finally taking control of the high ground. Really good positioning for them as well with the self-destruct and with the Cassidy having that eye.
Classic TP up onto the high ground. Self-destruct thrown in for back. And Shinkai finds an early pick here with the high noon. George is gone for the sound barrier. They're already down a player. They're hoping they can just brute force their way into this. But there's a lot that can be done here from the University of Kentucky to stall. However, NHI is out of the fight. There's Brandon Up taken out of the mech. Self-destruct and, crucially, catches Terriamon, who just got that amplification matrix online. It's a lost fight here for Central Methodist University. They just don't know it yet.
The reset comes through and the time starts to run out if you are on the side of Central Methodist. There's not a lot of time remaining. There's also not many ultimates to use, at least for a little bit while they are able to build them again. And the question is, how are they going to organize them? The Proto Barrier, even though it can be great to start off those fights, needs a little bit more of that potential that you can get with the Reinhardt, using that space to the best of their ability.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird ult because it's not quite a defensive ult, it's not quite a space control ult. It's kind of a bit of both, but kind of neither. It really needs some extra punch to go with it. Okay, interesting rotation. And they don't catch the Rhine in the back with the shatter. Black Magic puts them on their backs, and it is clean-up time. The big distraction play here from Central Methodist University. What a massive IQ play.
If you're Kentucky, you're just hoping to touch, you're just hoping to delay this, make it to 0 seconds, but doesn't seem like it's going to be possible now.
Andy in a bit of trouble. Cassidy's a kill on the far side there. Brandon obviously able to find a pick. Will find themselves very quickly out of mech, and we are seeing a bit of time taken off the point here as the contest rolls back through. They want to get this as close to 0 as they can. Still got the Tracer hipping around the point. Shinkai now down, and there it is. 1 minute to 1 minute 29. Neither team out of this just yet. 4 and 4 apiece, and a chance for both to go that little bit further.
Stall maps like this one always bring the possibility to continue seeing more and more rounds like this. But the team's doing a really good job, especially towards the end, to get that cleanup as soon as possible. But Central Methodist, like you said, it was the Reinhardt coming out of nowhere and bringing that surprise that no one was expecting from the side of University of Kentucky. That was the opening that they were waiting for. If that Reinhardt didn't come up with a play like that, it seems like we would have all gone to that overtime for both of them.
And this is going to feel pretty bad for Central Methodist, right? Because that last round, you had a massive time bank advantage, and it's now dwindled to 29 seconds, which, frankly, in a map like this, in this kind of condition, with the fights we've been having, you might as well have a minute apiece. Like, it's unlikely to be the difference maker here. This could very, very easily be a draw on Hanamura.
No, don't say it. No,
and,
no way.
look, I call them as I see them. And this is what I'm seeing. Like, it took University of Kentucky almost 4 minutes to do it. Central Methodist apparently got lucky with their TP last time, so it just looks like it might happen. I hate to break it to you.
I mean, I absolutely, of course, see the possibility. It would be impossible not to, but it's gotta hurt, especially when teams are bringing up the same thing. Kentucky looking forward to attack first with a TP. Gets canceled for a little bit with that mate wall. Now looking forward to do it.
Ooh, okay, a bit of a weird position here for Andy, looking for somewhere to put this TP. Instead, we're just going to opt into the brawl here at Choke, and there it is up onto the high ground, looking for this very difficult acute angle, and that was absolutely beautiful from Silent. Knew exactly what Andy was trying to do, and the TP has come through there up onto the high ground now, but look at the time that's been burnt off the clock without really having a fight, without really getting past the Choke here. 20 seconds for University of Kentucky to make something happen, and they are already down there. Baptiste, they're down their Immortality field. They've frozen up their Reinhardt. NH does find a pick here. That's going to be the Diva taken out of the fight. George gets the displacement kill onto Andy, and it's 6 seconds. I don't think we got a University of Kentucky player left alive. No, we do actually have somebody on the point. It is the Diva of Brandonov and the Lucio, but I mean, it's a valiant effort, guys. It's a great try, but it's not going to be enough. That's 0 points gained here on A for University of Kentucky. Central Methodist University need 1/3 of a tick in just under 90 seconds to win the map.
And when you see the TP getting denied twice, you know that it is going to be so difficult to come back from that, especially the time continues to run out. There was not so much to work with for Kentucky on this attack, and they couldn't make it work this time the way that we saw it on the prior round. So now Central Methodist, only 29 seconds extra that they have, but it's still going to be one more fight that you're able to get with that time.
Yeah, I mean, I said in the last round, 29 seconds, big deal, big whoop, what's going to happen with that? But in the situation where we get nothing for University of Kentucky, actually that 30 seconds does make a big difference. And I've just noticed, I've got a note from our wonderful producer, Coltoon, saying, Phil, if we get a draw here, I swear to God, and look, this isn't me causing this. I just have a lot of experience casting Overwatch. I can tell when we've got a draw in the cards. I can feel it in my bones.
Well, okay. So you're saying that we can blame you if it's a draw?
I'm not saying that, but I will understand.
So we will. Okay, got it. We will. We will.
All right, thanks. Okay, I get it. Okay, well, Central Methodist University out the gates, coming in with, surprise, surprise, the Symmetra, University of Kentucky. They're going to see this coming. They're going to be playing point.
And it's going to be right away. Even with just 28 seconds already went down and will continue to go down, especially with this rotation. It's going to take a little bit longer. The Lucio not going to give enough speed for this team. And now the TP comes in.
Bit of a fake out. In we go. And it's straight into Beamtown. And we find NH down. And that is a big, big, big find here. And Silent, you can hear the microwave churning away here at max capacity. and Central Methodist University. They heard me saying it was Draw City, and they went, no, we're here to rescue the production crew from the curse of the draw, and we're going to come in and take this handily. 1/3 of a tick is all we need, and we didn't even need the whole time bank.
Okay, not a draw. Nice. Good to see. I always like to see when we don't draw in Overwatch. It is always great. And it is going to be the side of Central Methodist being able to stay on top of the game this time around. It was only the 33% that had to be gotten. That is exactly what they did. That's a nice book. That was really nice. Yep.
I do have a slight concern here, which is I said I can feel the draw in my bones. If it wasn't the draw I can feel, I do think I need to see a doctor about what it is that I can feel in my bones. But that can wait until after broadcast. Yeah, doctor, what's wrong with my bones? I thought it was a draw on Hanamura. Anyway.
Okay. Well, we can still see a draw. I don't want to. I hope we don't. But the possibility of a draw still. I feel like just the teams are so close, right? That even if we approach a hybrid map next, if there's a map, I mean, I don't want to say it, but the possibility is still there.
Yes, it can happen. It is a little bit less likely on a hybrid map because there is the payload component, but certainly it can happen, particularly if we get both teams completing with a short time bank. So yeah, it could still happen. And if that is what I could detect and what is causing my bones to ache, then that's okay. I can relax at least a little bit here. But that was I really want to go back and watch that initial TP play from CMU because it was just so explosive, and Kentucky just didn't seem to even think that it was a possibility that could happen. Like, I have never seen a 6-minute time bank like they and the fact that they finished the map technically a minute and a half up in time from when they started, like, that's got to be one of the best time banks we've ever seen in a match of competitive Overwatch. Like, the other team may as well not have been there.
Yeah, absolutely. It just happens so fast. Every time we see over 5 minutes, it looks insane. But they made it just because they won that first fight, and they didn't even win because they had the TP. They could go right into second. The spawns were just, I mean, it was so fast that the spawns for the defense were just coming in. So honestly, very, very impressive what we just saw. But after rounds continued to go, it kind of balanced out a little bit more between them.
Yeah, I think the fact that it came down to 1 minute versus 1 minute 90 actually says a lot about the quality of the point B defense for Kentucky. Sorry, for the point B offense. Yeah, the point B defense here for Kentucky. Sorry, I had a momentary thing of who was on what side for what. Yeah, but to be able to burn so much time off the clock is a phenomenal show of strength, because you can look at that kind of time back and go, well, okay, GG's, we've lost this, let's just save our energy and go for the next one. But the ability to find that resilience and dig deep and keep going, I think, says a lot about that. But it does mean that we're at match point now. This is 2-1, and we only need one more point to get us that 3-1 victory. And our next map is going to be Numbani for our hybrid map today.
Numbani, that is an interesting map. I feel like we don't see it too often when it comes to hybrids, because everyone, you think hybrid and you think King's Row, you think maps like those. But this one is going to be interesting. Defense is going to be key into first point, and I would bring up the possibility again to see either a double bubble or even an Orisa Diva. I feel like can work out on the defense pretty well.
Yeah, and I feel like there is also the potential for not just the double bubble, but the sort of modified dive rush hybrid. I've been calling it the hour zero composition because that's the only team I know that reliably ran that, even though at this point that is a 2-year-old niche reference. But, the Sombra Reaper dive rush effectively. We actually saw that run pretty effectively by both sides earlier on Lijiang, and given the early high ground control that's necessary in point A, it's absolutely a thing that can work here as well. So I guess all that's really left to do is to eventually load into game and see what it is. But yeah, you're right, there is a lot of options. There are a lot of options even for both of our teams here.
I would love to see the double bubble. That is one of the compositions that we actually haven't seen today.
True.
And it is, granted, it is a difficult composition to run. You need so much synergy with your two tanks to make it work. But I feel like out of many other maps, a map like Numbani is one of the maps that you're able to enable this composition the best. When you're gonna have the Winston, when you're gonna have something like the bubble to let you in, and that would have been even an answer for when we saw the teams on Route 66, where the Winston was trying to jump in with the Nano, but with the coach gun was denied that space. So if you have a bubble with the Zarya, then you're a little bit more enabled for that success.
Are they sufficiently out of spawn that we can call this? Are we actually going to see double shield Bastion on Numbani defense?
I think so. Yep.
Go find them, Observer. Let's have a look. Okay, yeah, they're well out of spawn. They're getting set up. This is what we're seeing here. I don't think University of Kentucky will predict this.
There's many things that you can predict on this map, but I don't think Bastion, between these two, had to be one of them. And you're going to have the Bastion set up, and I want to see the way the University of Kentucky is able to deal with this. You have the Anna and the Winston, so a little bit of the dive to jump right in. But if we continue to see the Winston getting denied that space, then it might turn from one fight to another to way more just to take down the very strong defense that we already see.
Ooh. Okay, I think that might have been a bit of a misstep there on the leap in from Brandon Ott. However, that has gained them control here, and University of Kentucky going to have to start to adapt to keep this contested. Not quite 1/3 of a tick here gain for University of Kentucky, and the kills trickle on through. Very, very difficult to run a Winston into a Bastion. You've got a massive head hitbox, and boy, does the Bastion love to go for it. And another pretty unfortunate stagger, and there's the kill.
The last couple kills, but now University of Kentucky, they already know about this Bastion, they already know about this positioning, and there's not too many positions that you can have for this Bastion as well to make it work. The change into the Sombra, I like it, but then you're going to be only dependent on the EMP to be able to shut down this composition. So ideally you want to see something else, the proper engagement coming through with the Winston, with the Diva, and even with the Trace as well from the backline.
And I think we're already seeing from Andy that Andy is more than happy to try and take on a Sombra. And the Sombra, to generate EMP, has to get right up to this big bunker composition and put themselves at risk of a Rock, a Holt, a Discord, a stray headshot from Andy. Like, it's very difficult to make it work. And we're seeing already nearly 2 minutes off the clock, and Andy's at 22% of an EMP. That needs to be online more or less now. Okay, we're going to see the Nano engage here. Brandon Up having to wait for the leap to come back in. Silent drops down. Always dangerous to give up that high ground when you're the Bastion, because, well, that's the kind of thing that happens. No more high ground control available for the Bastion of Central Methodist University. We see the Pulse Bomb land here, taking Black Magic out of the fight. And Andy is up on the high ground, desperate to take out one support, looking for the second now, and still not quite 1/3 of a tick gained here for Central Methodist University. Andy looks to clear some space with the Noodle Dragons over the points. On with the high ground again. That's going to be the leap in from Brandon Ott, who is 1% away from having that ultimate online. Just gets it as they die. Can't get it off, and Methodist University, they've given up some positioning here, but they are now back in control of the point.
Some control that's going to go for the side of this defense. And it's got to be unfortunate. If you're Kentucky, you're about to get a 33%. It gets denied, but now at least, I was going to say you have EMP. Sombra, your Sombra just got taken down. Gotta wait a little bit longer for the next push, and this is the winning condition that we were talking about. Nothing else was going to work out for Kentucky to shut down this very strong bunker for Central Methodist. Then it is going to be that EMP, and it's gotta be really now or never when there's still less than a minute remaining.
They've got to go in, and they've got to go in pretty soon. This dive has to be so well coordinated with this EMP, and you can see that Andy is busy controlling distances. Out comes the EMP, Immortality Field as well, and the self-destruct of all things clears Silent off the point. NH dives onto the high ground, looking to try and deal with Andy, who leaps out of the way. We're still seeing kills come through here from University of Kentucky, and they are looking to finally make the cap, but it took them a long time to break this hold, and they're still not quite clear of it. We will see the Baptiste down onto the low ground very, very briefly, and there is the cap coming through. Andy secures a parting kill, but is then partingly killed on the way out.
Just in time, just in the last fight territory that we were approaching on that first point, very early. Was that an accident? Is Sky okay? Okay. It didn't seem to be intentional. We'll move past that. While Kentucky as well continues to move this payload, we'll get this high ground as well just for a little bit. And it's going to be crucial to just continue farming for that EMP. It's like they knew.
Yeah, I mean, trying to explain the thing from Sky there with the ultimate, some people's fingers are just too big for keyboards. I happen to be one of those people. Might have been one of that, but very quickly climbing back up to that beautiful rundown there from Shinkai, taking Terriamon, and a lot of the sustain ability from Central Methodist University is now out of the fight. University of Kentucky start to close the distance. Black Magic momentarily hacked up by Andy, however, and Silent down as well. Another big anti-aspect. Cisco lands a 4-person anti there, deals with George. Black Magic is hacked and taken out of the fight here as well. Shinkai is still in this fight, holds on to the pulse bomb, and it is just going to be Black Magic left trying to hold that down. Andy falls as well, and it looks like a good amount of progress here for University of Kentucky.
There's going to be one more fight happening here. With that EMP, University of Kentucky have everything they could need. This is one of the hardest, not even a contest is going to happen. Okay. And yeah, with the EMP available, and with all the ultimates of Global coming through, especially towards the end with that rally, I mean, this is everything though, the EMP.
Yeah, a very patient, very calculated EMP there, secures the pick onto both supports, and things suddenly get a lot easier here for University of Kentucky with no supports on the table for Central Methodist. They only have the one ult left though here. Brandon with the Primal Rage is going to be their primary engagement tool here, and they are going to have to run this into what is effectively a brawl now coming in, with the Reinhardt going toe-to-toe with Brandon. Let's see what happens when these two teams start to clash. Silent with an early pulse bomb. That's going to be Aspect Sister taken out of the fight, and the wind almost certainly taken out of the sails here for University of Kentucky, but they are still committing value into this fight. It's going to be Brandon up with the Primal Rage looking to buy space, realizes that they are in trouble here, and gets out again. Oh, buys a lot of space. Shinkanai lands the pulse bomb. Not going to connect that, just hit the shield there of Black Magic, who is now down. We're going to see the Tracer back onto the point to keep this going, but I believe forced to use the recall. Shinkai keeps on track of them, and that's Silent down and out of the fight from being nearly full held on A to a 1 minute 40-second time bank. And what a glow for University of Kentucky.
Making it all the way till the end, and it was a really good momentum that was gained on the second part of the map. They won that fight. They were able to not even see a recontest from the enemy team of Central Methodist, and just continue pushing that with the EMP, with the rally, with every single ability that we saw towards the end. So for University of Kentucky, this was a very smooth map. But I want to see how they do in the defense though. And Central Methodist, it's crazy that the Bastion almost worked. I mean, it just shouldn't have worked for that long.
No. You would like to think that at the level that these players are playing at, the Bastion defense, which is a staple of ranked games, is a solved quantity. There are ways that this can be done. There are ways that this can be dismantled. And they kind of landed on a way to do it, but it took them a very long time to set up. And frankly, part of that success was the Bastion giving up the high ground, going for the ult and chasing kills. If they'd held the high ground there and been in a less dangerous position, that Bastion comp may have held out that little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels like the Bastion felt the pressure to drop off the high ground just because the dive was just coming in after the EMP, but the dive didn't really get the kills right away. So it was more than enough time to continue holding the high ground positioning and see what they could do with it. But now it's going to be all about Central Methodist on this attacking side, and it's going to be the 6-man composition coming in. You talked about it, and I like that they bring it too.
Yeah, I think this is a composition with a lot of win conditions and fairly straightforward win conditions. You know, hacking a target and then diving right onto them when they can't defend themselves. Pretty straightforward stuff. So giving up the high ground early here from Central Methodist University to get in and manage the brawl. And it's Sombra down on the low ground. Andy coming off slightly better there in terms of ult charge. But Silent finds the first pick. Brandon down. Always a risky target. To go up against a Reaper like that. Again, such a big head hitbox on the Winston. Such a grouped, powerful shot from Central Methodist University, who have handily moved over onto point A and are now holding the forward corner, preventing University of Kentucky coming in and contesting.
The payload will continue to move, and now making a difference on the defensive and attacking side of each team. And is that Central Methodist was able to get this right away on their first fight, while Kentucky, they took way longer. They also take down this Tracer, and they continue having this momentum, just passing and forcing University of Kentucky to go the way back.
Okay, well, let's see how this works out here. University of Kentucky will have a couple of ults about to come online. We've seen how powerful, how impactful the rally can be here, the EMP2, but they are giving up space here. In fact, the Coalescence and Terriamon doing a lot of heavy lifting. Brandon up closes the distance, and it's 1 kill already for INH. Able to take Ceylon out of the fight even. Brandon up, nice dodge there to get in on the fight and take Terriamon out of it. Looks like they won't need to commit the Primal Rage here, which is great for you, okay, because they are going to win this fight with basically no expenditure of ultimates. Like, they came out of that looking very, very clinical.
Good cleanup as well, just to stop that from moving, but it's an awkward positioning as well for the payload as he continues to go back. The defense looking forward to hold the defense to hold their positioning with that EMP, but it's gonna be on both sides. They get 6.
Ooh, that is a big one. Andy down, George down. That's back to spawn. Do not pass a go. Do not collect $200. Central Methodist University thoroughly taken to school on that one. But for University of Kentucky, arguably an overcommitment of ults there. I don't think they needed the Primal Rage.
Absolutely, it didn't seem like the timing was right as well. They expected another scenario to happen to lose you, George, getting taken down with the pulse, but once again going to delay and continue delaying this proper 6 versus 6 fight that we just continue waiting for, and then it's in very awkward positioning as well between the two teams.
There's the EMP, but it only catches Mad Jack, who already had the rally running. Silence going to go down here, so that was 2 ults thrown at this fight with very little to show from it. In fact, Silence now down. We get the ult committed from George, and that's the sound barrier now out of the way. Yes, Black Magic has found a pick, and yes, we get the D-Mech onto the Diva, and yes, George is really giving Shinkai a run for their money here. They have made some progress here, but it was expensive, and it was not particularly clean.
Not very clean, but now it is a Coalescence as well, cleaning up what is remaining. The second part of this map is one of the hardest to defend, but look at this. Central Methodist, they are unstoppable. They continue pushing forward. They don't want to give any space now for Kentucky.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the idiomatic things here for Numbani is you get a point A, you get a point C, you very seldom get a streets phase. And we just saw Central Methodist University almost manage that. There was one good hold here from the University of Kentucky, but they are looking to be in a position for a good hold here. Look at the war chest they've got to play with. It's Andy on the high ground with the EMP. Looking like we're getting a self-destruct combo. That's not going to land. And Central Methodist University, they've thrown ults into this. They've not found too much. There's the 2-for on the EMP, the pulse beam connected as well, and University of Kentucky have got in with 3, 4, 5 kills and counting. Silence will take Brandon up out of the fight here, but that will be the hold here for University of Kentucky.
Luckily for both of the teams, actually, their enemy was able to use quite a lot of ultimates into the fight. So this next stage that we see in this third part of the map is going to be all about farming those ultimates again, trying to build them again as soon as possible. We might be seeing the primary rage just to open it up.
Wow. Ooh. It's a nice hack there, gives us some indication that INH has that self-destruct online, no longer going to be able to call that out, but so far, Platform Diva surviving through this one. In fact, the only casualty so far of this engagement. Sky now with the self-destruct, but hacked, and we may see a repeat here where they can't get out of the mech with the self-destruct and find themselves sent back to spawn in Pilot Diva format. Black Magic is now on the Reinhardt and closing in on 50% plus of that shatter. Blocks the damage coming through. Silent pulls the pin on and finds 2 with the Death Blossom. So whilst they are slowly winning out this fight, I don't think they're doing it in a reliable enough way to actually secure much more progress on this. And a nice land on the flashbang, but Black Magic with a back swing of a hammer takes Shinkai out of the fight. But the EMP this time does not connect with anything here from Andy. We get the nano boost as well from Aspect Cisco. That's an EMP. Self-destruct into the back line. Everybody makes themselves scarce. That's only going to be the D-Meg here coming in. But Central Methodist University definitely have the kills. They have the momentum. They have the payload under control. And they just need to dislodge one with an old lady from the point to get that over the end. And they finish with 30 seconds ahead of University of Kentucky. So another round here on Numbani.
3-3 here in Numbani. Going to yet another round, as we haven't seen quite enough of this between these two
We're going
teams.
the distance, Dryad.
We really are. But, I mean, overall, it was Central Methodist doing a way better job on this attacking side, and you can tell by the difference in time just a little bit, but mostly you can tell by the aggression that they brought in that third part. They got second, they didn't stop, they used their primary rage, they were getting the kills as well, and just messing up really with the numbers of Kentucky all the way until the end. So there we see a little bit more control. They want to go to the Bastion? No way. They will. Okay, they're doing it again, I guess.
Well, I mean, it worked. It worked for them so well. It took University of Kentucky such a long time to break. You know, it took almost all of the 4-minute time bank, and this time they've only got a 1-minute 40-second time bank. So they've got to be more than twice as effective at breaking this defense here. Hopefully, they've learned their lesson and they have a game plan this time.
Especially because if there's a scenario for a Bastion to work out, it's gotta be in this third and fourth rounds where there's not a lot of time remaining. So if you're able to win the first couple fights with this composition, you're most likely going to force the enemy team into the overtime, and that is exactly what Central Methodist will be trying to do for this one. Especially because Kentucky, they gotta build that EMP first before pushing.
Yeah, I think Andy doing a great job there of effectively being bait, peeking that initial angle, and drawing in the tanks looking to dive and find him. And that's going to be the first pick. Andy down at 9%. Again, Shinkai down here as well. I just don't think this is the play from University of Kentucky. I think they need something else here because they don't have the time for Andy to build a slow EMP.
The EMP is going really slow though. Only about 20%. This is most likely going to be going to overtime without Andy being able to build a CMP. Just looking at the pace of how this is going is because Andy cannot get close to this one composition for Central Methodist without getting taken down.
Okay, again. Now engage interrupted, and I feel like that's been the story of the Winstons so far in this game, interrupted by mobility displacement abilities. And University of Kentucky, they will give up the high ground here. Silent once more making this mistake. This time pays off for them, so has time to reset. We have 20 seconds on the clock here. University of Kentucky have nothing to play with. No EMP, no pulse bomb, no primal rage, and 13 seconds. I think this is a bit much to ask, Dryad.
This last chance, last opportunity here to touch the point to guarantee a chance at 33%. It is going to be all the way until the end to get it.
Oh no, that's a big dragon. Nowhere really for University of Kentucky to run. Funnels them all into the line of fire for the Storm Arrow. Silence able to find Shinkai. Brandonob's going ham with a monkey fist. Will find one.
Whoa,
Silent gets worked down here. Hacked, stunned, beaten to a pulp. One tick already gained here from University of Kentucky. They've done this without the EMP. And looks like they're going to take this all the way. That's a nice connection on the nade there from Aspect Cisco. Stops Terriamon keeping his team alive. And that's going to be it. Looks like we're just going to see Terriamon worked down here and University of Kentucky get the cap. But it's overtime now, Dryad. They can't afford to leave this camp for a second.
Last couple of members got taken down for Central Methodist, and it was so unfortunate. Also, the supercharger was used.
It's a swap. It's a swap, I think.
Okay, but even then, the supercharger is not going to do it. Okay, well, anyways.
Yeah.
But looking forward to the changes. And with a Winston and a Diva for Central Methodist on this defense, what they're looking forward to do is going back to the 6-man, taking control of this high ground as soon as possible, stopping the payload. But when you have an EMP on the other side, it becomes a lot more difficult to do.
It does. I mean, I don't think we're getting much of a streets phase here for Central Methodist. I think University of Kentucky have way too much in their favor. Like a big old EMP with the anti-nade over the top. Terriamon, Silent down. Black Magic and George momentarily very, very weak in this fight. There's Black Magic down. Sky, D-Mech didn't have the self-destruct for the remech. University of Kentucky win that fight handily, and they still hold on to ultimates. Crucially, they've got the rally for this next fight. So we are seeing no more streets here. It's straight on into point C.
It is getting very, very difficult as well. If you're Central Methodist, you think they can hold the defense on first, maybe into second, but when it gets to third on the overtime, then you start to worry quite a lot. Not even the EMP, they're just been waiting for that ultimate to be ready. And on top of that, I mean, all you have to do is push everyone away. Might be able to self-destruct, maybe.
Okay, well, see the pulse bomb come out and it finds George. I mean, could be worse, didn't have the sound barrier online anyway. University of Kentucky has still found the picks here. In comes the self-destruct. Will find Shinkai, but the cart's still moving forward, still rumbling on through, rounding that second corner into point C. We'll see Central Methodist University holding on to this momentarily, but University of Kentucky still have momentum behind them. They've got Brandon up with the Primal Rage. A beautiful juggling act here. Keeps everybody out of the line of sight of the cart, but it is still contested, so not moving all that far. And of course, we are so deep into overtime here that, frankly, a frame off of the cart will result in a forfeit. That's a big EMP. It's a big self-destruct in response. NH able to find 2. University of Kentucky, they look like they're going to take this all the way. Central Methodist University, how are they going to get back into point and keep this contested? I just don't think they can, Dryad.
Oh, almost tried making it happen, but will not. And with that, University of Kentucky, they make it all the way to the end. Oh, that overtime that started right at the beginning of this map. That is honestly insane for them to be able to create that space. The tanks has such a crucial role in this composition and on this round that we saw, and it was all about creating space for the rest of the team for the payload to continue moving. So the fights were not too many, but just enough to make it through. So University of Kentucky absolutely being highlighted right now, while Central Methodist is starting to realize that even this 2 minutes and 10 might not be enough.
I mean, it's a 30-second advantage over what University of Kentucky had, and we've seen what happens once you get the wind in your sails here. But 2 minutes and 10 is still not a particularly great time bank to work with, as you say, right? Normally you start with 4 minutes, and there's a lot that can be done on the defense to shut you down. University of Kentucky are going to be opting into something a little more conventional than what we saw for Central Methodist University, and we could be looking at, frankly, either a draw or a victory for University of Kentucky. So 1 or 2 maps more after this. I do think an out-and-out win here with 2 minutes and 10 is very difficult.
Absolutely, it's going to be difficult, and it's going to push into that overtime. It's going to be the same scenario that we saw University of Kentucky do. And even though Central Methodist won, we saw them on the attacking side, they were a lot better just to win that first fight. Again, it's going to be that overtime that will be pushing in if they want a chance in this map.
Okay, well, it's an aggressive start in already. They realize they've not got time to waste. Terrium on equal parts damage and healing spots. That there is a particularly injured-looking Black Magic down there and drops to keep them in. But the brawl is now rolling. Black Magic hacked up, however, and being focused. But it's Winston for Winston here. So no more main tank for either team, and a momentary Windows opportunity now for Central Methodist University, who have almost 2 ticks on the board here. In fact, just 0.6 of a tick away from getting that all in. Andy's able to find George, but is now slept. Looks like they're struggling to follow up. Will eventually get the follow-up, and he's down, however. University of Kentucky, yes, they've got that second tick. Are they going to manage the third here? Looks like they're slowly grinding out the numbers they need to keep this going. So, University of Kentucky do manage the hold here.
77% only that was gotten for Central Methodist, which is a lot more than we saw on that first round for the enemy team, but not quite enough EMP. On the other hand, a massive difference between the two Andys. One has EMP, the other one doesn't.
And this is a bit of a redemption for Andy on the side of University of Kentucky, right? Because we've seen the story be these EMPs be very, very slow to generate. A lot of space there gained by the dive from Black Magic. And the kills come through from Central Methodist University. Terry able to find 1, George with the second. So it's DPS in the form of supports here. There's both supports taken off the table for University of Kentucky. So a slightly favorable time bank coming into the streets phase here for Central Methodist University. But we'll see that 22 seconds go incredibly quickly, and it'd be an overtime push for the rest of the map.
The EMP for Andy on this side of Kentucky was not used, will be available as well along with the rally. Such strong ultimate to stop this payload and this momentum for going. So that is why Central Methodist, they have the job of taking this fight as early as possible to deny that.
Yeah, they need a big combo, either with the self-destruct or with the Death Blossom to make this work. We're just going to go in dry. No, Sky will get the self-destruct over the top, but it doesn't land where it needs to land. Only finds the D-Mech here. Silent, closing in on having that Death Blossom ready to go, but it's Andy. Almost gets found out, pops that EMP, finds 3. Crucially, both supports scored out. This means there's no support from George, no healing available, and University of Kentucky dive in. Over the top, they find 2 picks here, and they've got more ults to throw at this, but they're not even really gonna need them. University of Kentucky with the Self-Destruct and the Primal Rage celebratory ultimates to keep themselves in this match. And we are at 2-2. We're going to a map number 5. I told you, Dryad, at the start of this evening, it's going to be a map 5 game.
Absolutely. And it is the way that we saw that first map looking so close was already a good indication of the level between the two and how strong both of the teams are. So taking us to a 5th map, going to prove that once again. And just everything was setting up for a moment like this. We look at the scores. 5-1 losses both of the teams having. We saw that first map as well, going to 3 maps to guarantee who was going to win. And every single map so far has been a matter of a single fight, a matter of seconds to guarantee who will be coming up on top.
Yeah, it's so close. You couldn't really even slide a piece of paper between these two teams most of the time. Yes, there have been fights here and there that have been one-sided, but one-sided fights only really matter if it's a sweep. It's not been that. This has been a very long, very drawn-out slugfest of a match. We are now nearly 2 hours into this one match, and we've still got some time to go here. So hats off, frankly, to the players for the mental fortitude. It is, if you've not done this before, if you've not played a 5-map series of competitive Overwatch at high pace, it is incredibly demanding. You've got to keep so much in your head, and you've got to work so hard to keep yourself properly in the game. One more map to decide this series, though.
There's got to be one more to guarantee, where this time around it can't even go back and forth anymore. One of them has to take the victory. One of them will be the one looking better for those playoffs, which is at the end what we talked about. What they're trying to guarantee today is having that better positioning on those playoffs so that whoever they face, they're going to be benefited against.
Yeah. And, we'll be going to a control map for our final map of the evening. And I've said this a few times. Many teams have tried to find a way to draw a control map specifically to inconvenience me. So far, none of them have managed it. This is very close, but I don't think these two teams are going to be the teams to find a way to draw it. We could definitely go all the way to a 100-100 2-1 scoreline at the end of it, but hopefully at the end we'll have a winner.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for here, just to guarantee the last control that is going to be needed between the two. And again, I think it goes back to looking at the compositions that we've seen today. There's so many variations, even a Bastion that we were able to see in Mbani. It's been really everything, but for this map, we already know it's going to be Nepal.
Yeah, Nepal seems like a fitting place to end this one out. Another map where I think the Brawl in particular has a good pedigree here. It can certainly do a lot of work. But also on top of that, certainly maps where Symmetra and May are both, if not the best picks, certainly very good picks. I'm thinking Village in specific sees a lot of time on Symmetra, and it feels fitting after what we saw on Hanamura that we see a little bit more of that. So I think we couldn't have asked for a better control map to round out this series.
And I think every time I think of Nepal, I think of the last map for teams, because we don't often see this map to start, but we usually see it to finish. I have a lot of memories of really good matches, really close matches ending in a map like this, from Overwatch League to Contenders to now. It seems like it's going to be this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I think we tend to not see this at the start is that Lijiang Tower is the King's Row of control maps, and what I mean by that is it's the one that everybody really likes the most, and so that's the one that tends to get picked first off. And Nepal, sadly, as good as it is, a distant second to Lijiang Tower.
Absolutely, and that is why I think it becomes a little bit more unique on what compositions we can see in this map. I feel like there's not a set one like we talked about in Lijiang Tower, where in one of them you will be playing Rush, and the other one a little bit of the 6-man dive-ish composition. But for this one here in Nepal, it turns into maybe they will play this, maybe they will play this other thing. There's more possibilities for what they want to bring, similar to maybe what we saw in Route 66, where we saw many different possibilities, but towards the end, the teams were aiming for more of a mirror match.
Yeah, and I think both teams actually in the mirror match, it's been a mirror match in the best possible sense of the word, in that it's been very back and forth. It's been relatively even between the two of them, and it's usually just a case of not luck, but good capitalization on small differences and small changes in tempo, whether that's a flashbang landed above a shield, or a boop finding a kill over the edge of a map. It's been little differences like that, rather than one team being very strongly better than the other on a particular composition. So again, feels good that we are in a situation where we should be able to see that kind of high level 1v1v1v1 across the entire series.
Again, yeah, because it's been going back and forth, not only on the fights that we see inside of the maps, but again, also on the match. It's just been one team win one, the other, and then the other. And it's just like so good of the level and the really blowing up our expectations of and how close and how crazy these fights can be.
Yeah, and I think we're actually lucky, you and me here, Dryad, to get to do this particular map, because this particular match, like if I look back at some of the other series that I've had a chance to cast, which is not to say that we've had bad teams or bad matches, but we have certainly had our share of 3-0s.
Yeah.
It's good to know that there is the talent in this particular tournament that means we can see them go toe to toe and actually have that mean something and have that be a good indicator of the level of play that we're expecting to see specifically in the playoffs and towards the pointy end of the playoffs. Like, if the playoffs games are as good as this one group stages match, I think that's a really good position to be in going forward.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? That is what we've been talking about. Everything here is for the playoffs that we're going to be seeing very soon. So it is the preparation, it is the adaptation, the mentality of players as they go into a fifth map, because we can only expect those to happen more and more. At the end, it is most likely that we would see a 3-0 over a 3-2. It just happens way more in Overwatch. That's the way it is. The team just gets a grasp of the enemy and how to counter them, and they will continue to do so all the way until the end. So it's really nice to see that very unique 3-2 that we will be seeing today.
And I just had confirmation from the producer to say that this is actually the first map 5 that we've caught on stream all season. So
perfect.
Yay for us.
Yep, it's just perfect. Just it's building up into those playoffs, into the high expectations that we can see, into the high level gameplay that we can see as we approach that stage on this tournament, which has been really long for the teams. There's a lot of days that if they're not playing, they're going to be scrimming, they're going to be practicing, they're going to do broad reviews on how they can become better. And we can definitely see it today, again, because you mentioned it early. It's just the improvement that we can see from their first match to today.
Yeah, and of course, in amongst all that practice and scrimming and VOD review, they've got to find time to actually play the game for enjoyment as well. So these are college students. How are they finding time to study?
They don't.
I see.
As a college student, I can tell you. Anyway.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Yeah.
I hope it's worth the money.
Anyways.
Let's move on quickly.
Okay, doors open. We look at the compositions here. University of Kentucky, Central Methodist, very similar compositions. May, though, is going to make the difference here. Ready.
Yeah, and of course that TP doing a lot of work already for University of Kentucky. They took early footing here, and it's allowed them to surge forward and take possession of the point. It's actually forced out the Immortality field early just to keep Black Magic alive here. So that's now down, and Aspect Cisco still has that particular utility online. Looking for the point to start to unlock here in University of Kentucky. Definitely large and in charge for now, but Black Magic surges forward, gets caught out by the wall. But ultimately, it's NH that goes down. Silent able to find the pick onto this one, and that is a big chink in the armor here. That's going to be the amplification matrix. I will get that right eventually. And Central Methodist University, despite having lost an early positioning on the point, do find a way to make that and get the first cap.
Central Methodist will be taking that control, and they really needed to. It was not looking good for them towards the beginning, especially with that May wall from the side of Kentucky that connected pretty well, isolating half of the team on one side, half of the other, but now it's going to be all in with the Proton Barrier.
Okay, it's going to be hokey-cokey around the Photon Barrier to buy some space. Central Methodist University will give over a lot of space here. They know that there's not a lot they can do in the face of that Photon Barrier, so they wait it out. They've not given it the control just yet. They've managed to get feet onto the point to keep it going. But here's the first pick of the engage.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. That was a rare interaction. That's going to be the Sasha interrupted by the Reinhardt being raised up into the air by the May wall. Central Methodist University, even having thrown that Shadow into the mix, will still come out on top here, though.
Even though Shadow doesn't connect, it doesn't matter too much as the University of Kentucky will nonetheless be taking control of this fight and looking towards to the next one where they will be having a blizzard very soon. They will be having a self-destruct and even a sound barrier if they really need to keep the team alive against what we can see for the Death Blossom of Central Methodist.
Yeah, Death Blossom, again, a very difficult ult to get great value with because there's a lot that can shut that down. But we're going to see the speed skating. Oh, okay. Speed skating Cassidy straight into the distraction tactics. And the Death Blossom comes through here from Silent, finds the 4th kill, and immediately Central Methodist University come back and regain the point.
Will be getting a little bit more percentage for Central Methodist is able to stay in control, and this is exactly what we saw in Legion Tower again, right? It was going back and forth between the two teams. A single ultimate would guarantee the changes.
That's going to be one more photon barrier engaged here, and a beautifully placed wall will help slow Central Methodist University retaking the point. Blizzard comes out and secures the kill on to both Black Magic and George. Central Methodist University invest and find nothing with that one. However,
where did the other self-destruct go?
Narnia, I think, given how what it actually managed to do there. University of Kentucky looking a little battered and bruised here, but they're still keeping control of the point. Silent forced to use the Wraith Walk to get out of the way of the incoming damage, but the Shatter now lands. Actually, was that the Shatter? No, it was a big flashbang from Andy. Mad Jack survives through that and puts in the sound barrier to keep University of Kentucky alive through the Central Methodist University. Have now got a lot of advantage here in terms of players left alive on the point, and Black Magic, uncaring of where anybody is, just swing it away and hoping to find purchase.
I love the back and forth between these two teams. It's really putting in the area, really taking us through the distance and to the distance all the way until the end. Even if the ultimates don't connect, even if there's a wall that denies the shatter, they still find a way to continue having this going.
Well, that's one way to deny some of the value out the amplification matrix. You just casually Billy walk your way through it, land the shatter, and put them on the ground. Brandon Obbs able to find one, take Silent out of the fight. There's the D-Meg onto Sky as well, but Shinkai is down here. There's no flip coming through just yet for University of Kentucky. They've thrown value at this. They've got now the Blizzard off the point. It's 99-64. University of Kentucky still in dire straits trying to take this back. Central Methodist University finding kills, but it's very tradey so far. No ults to play with the Cassidy off the table. And it's going to be down to who can make the kills here in the neutral fight. Magic gets the better of George. The self-destruct comes in, interrupted by the photon barrier here. Sound barrier comes out from Magic, keeps the team alive a little bit longer, but Central Methodist University just need to dislodge University of Kentucky, but they're struggling to do it. University of Kentucky, they've sunk their teeth into the hands of Central Methodist University of this point, and they secure the flip.
99% though, and with the shatter available, that is what Central Methodist University is looking forward to. And on top of that, both of the support ultimates, this team has everything just to have the start, just to have a really good start into the point. But it's got to be shutting down University of Kentucky, at least one of their members, as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think we're looking at potentially an aggressive beat to engage here. There's nothing currently that is required to beat that up. And they've got Andy up on the high ground, waits out the defense matrix, triggers the sound barrier from George, so they now no longer have to worry about that. Black Magic stunned. And that's a big opening here for University of Kentucky. Shinkai is able to find George, and he's able to find Andy, in fact, here. And surprisingly, it's been kind of back and forth whole game. And he dives on through, and it's at 92-99. University of Kentucky not currently in control of the point, but managed to flip it back. It's going to be Black Magic coming back in on the ball. They've got to somehow make this in the next 2% to get onto the point without dying. They get it. They take the overtime through, but they've already lost George here. This is a very difficult road to walk now for Central Methodist University, particularly as Andy's got another Death Blossom online. Pops it. I don't think there was anybody there, my guy. It just buys a bit of space, momentarily forces Andy back out of the way, and Aspect Cisco finds the pick there. Silence on the sidelines, nearly has this Death Blossom. If they can secure the D-Mech, if they can get onto the point and keep this going, there is the slim chance. Oh, they can't quite make it on. So close. Out it comes, shotguns flying, and University of Kentucky move 1 point closer to winning the match.
Only one more to go for Kentucky then, in Central Methodist University almost making it happen, passing that 90%, but not getting to 100%, just fight, and it was because before the last fight, what we saw was George using that sound barrier to keep the team alive. Didn't work out at all, so that means the team of Central Methodist, they lost that fight, and they also didn't have the sound barrier for the last fight, which is the most important one. So they didn't have anything like that to work with. You don't have a lot of those heals, a lot of that momentum that you can build only with this aggressive ultimate. So without the possibility to go away for Central Methodist, but they still have one more chance here.
And University of Kentucky saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Here we are with our Mesometric comp on the map that is probably the most famous for running it outside of Control Center on Lee Jang. Gives them early control of the point, and now Central Methodist University need to take damage in order to get onto the point and secure this fight. We'll see the big flash connect through from Andy. You saw that momentarily flash up on the left-hand side. But the first pick will take Andy out of the fight here. Immortality Field now down as well, so even more utility taken off the board here for Central Methodist University. It's a bit of a brawl on point. Hammers swinging defense matrixing, and University of Kentucky will secure the first cap.
Really good job. And they already have the better composition. Wall going to deny amplification for a little bit longer, and the shatter also coming in.
I mean, just a ballet of abilities here, with the block onto the window, with the wall and the shadow coming through to deny any additional value. Just beautiful stuff here from University of Kentucky.
And what I was going to say was that University of Kentucky, they are already playing what I consider the best composition in this map. They're so good at jumping into the point. You can isolate a target, and you can also deny it space with that May wall. And Andy, for this team of Kentucky, has been doing so good at maintaining that. Will Central Methodist with the 6-man, they just have to get close to that May wall, which is exactly what you're trying to avoid.
And there's no ults available here yet for Central Methodist University. Out comes the Blizzard, protected by the wall. Down goes the Immortality Field. And it is right-click a clock here for Andy. Headshot after headshot. And just as clean as you like, that fight won. Having said that, they did lose Mad Jack here, but there should be sufficient time for Mad Jack to get back into the fight.
Absolutely. We'll be coming back for that next fight. We'll be ready for that next fight as University of Kentucky is looking forward to passing that 70% for the team. Central Methodist, they can really use this aggressive sound barrier truly as soon as possible before the time runs out.
Yeah, they've got to go here. This is not quite last fight territory, but getting very near to. And they're making a long, slow rotation. It's the drop down with the high noon. A couple of skulls on sight. Beautiful wall again. And not able to land anything with it. They needed that at this point in the fight. It had to be them. It had to happen then. Shadow ready here for Black Magic. Oh, no! That's going to be a big one. NH turns to the side. And Central Methodist University, on the back of a miracle shatter from Black Magic, are back in this race.
It was a shatter what made the difference for Central Methodist, and they really needed that as soon as possible. 98 that was gained for Kentucky. The thing there is that they're going to play aggressive again with the May wall, just making that rotation into point.
Okay, so much here. That's going to be from Sky. Shinkai's down. The confusion. Black Magic up close and personal. NH down as well. That's... Okay, we get a remake kill from University of Kentucky. It's nice. It's fun. We have a little laugh about it, but it's not enough to turn the point.
Branding is also will be able to back up with the rest of the team or wait for the rest of the team in the meantime, so it's not looking too bad. They still have the confidence to be able to win in that next fight, really. The Blizzard will be available along with the amplification, and both of the ultimates are going to be amazing to create that space.
Oh, and they've given over the space. I understand the appeal of playing on the high ground, but University of Kentucky want to close the gap and brawl. They've secured the flip. Black Magic's able to find a kill. Aspect Cisco gets taken out here. Shinkai has that photon barrier up, and they're able to just bully Central Methodist University off the point and secure the win. It's been a long, hard slog in this match, but University of Kentucky come up with the goods in the final hour.
They really needed to make it happen. We didn't see that overtime even taking on this last chance for many reasons, but at the same time a little bit surprising. This last map was the one that looked the most one-sided.
Yeah, it really did. And I think a lot of it comes down to, as you mentioned at the start of that map, it was a better composition. The May and the Symmetra does so much to control space and to punish space taking that just running a straight-up brawl into it is really, really difficult unless you are like a mechanical step above your opponent.
There's a couple of things. Then one of the surprises was we didn't see the mirror match coming through
Yeah.
on this one as well. And it just, if you're not playing this Mei and the enemy Mei is playing to such a high level with the Mei Wolves coming in just in time and the backup as well that she's able to get from the team, it is going to be so difficult to recover from. Well, so that's exactly what we saw, and that is why it's going to be Methodist coming up on top in this match.
Yeah, it is. And ultimately, that's going to be the end of the match itself here today after over 2 hours of gameplay. But it's not the end of the broadcast just yet. We're going to throw to just a little break and we're going to draft in somebody from the winning team to come and have a talk about how that match went, their thoughts about it, and a look forward to playoffs. So join us again in a couple of minutes.
I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 Classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch ahead. What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Welcome back, everybody. Here we are with the interview portion of the broadcast. And joining us from the winning team, University of Kentucky Esports, is Andy, just one of 2 Andys that we had on the broadcast today. Andy, welcome. How are you feeling on the back of that win?
I'm feeling fantastic. I mean, there was just so much going into so many different parts of that match with, back and forth wins. It was just so chaotic, and I'm so happy that we finally pulled it out.
Yeah, just as a note of commentary here, the first map 5 that we've got to have on stream all season. So congratulations on such a hard-fought and well-fought match.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah, and I had a couple questions for you. The first one, I want to ask you a little bit about your flexibility as a team. You guys played a lot of different compositions. Some maps are going to enable you to play those specifics, and some is more kind of what really works out best for you. How much do you practice each specific composition? Is it just playing to your strengths from beginning to end?
Yeah, we definitely try to pick our composition around the map, and I think in scrims we do our best, but ultimately we just try to pick what's comfortable for us, and I think we definitely force that a lot less during matches. I think, especially depending on who we can get in at certain times, we play different roles. Like sometimes I'm playing off tank, sometimes I'm playing flex support. It really depends on who we can get on what role. Like today we happened to get all 6 of our starting players, so that was fantastic. But I mean, yeah, we just try to play to the map usually.
Mm-hmm. And I think you'll spot a pattern here in that Dryad's going to ask you insightful questions about your team. Whereas I'd like to know, how did you feel going toe-to-toe with another Andy in the DPS position today?
I didn't think about it too much. I mean,
we thought about it a lot.
I'm sure, yeah. I made a joke to my teammates before the match. I'm like, dang, the casters are going to have a really tough time with this one. But
yeah,
yeah, I apologize about that. But I mean, it definitely didn't really tend to be too much of a factor. But I was very tempted to type Andy Diff at the end, even though it was not an Andy Diff at all. It was very much a team thing. I was just joking, but yeah, it was very silly. So.
Yeah. What about as your team looks towards playoffs? How comfortable are you guys feeling? You only lost a single match on this entire tournament so far. So how are you feeling? Do you think that the reason why you lost that one time, you're already able to fix and to counter a little bit better?
Oh yeah, I think we've improved a ton since then, because I think that was like week 2 or 3 that we got that loss, and I think since then we've grown so much, and I think that had we been as good as we are now going into that match, we probably could have won, and I think that will definitely help us going forward.
Great. So how are you feeling about playoffs generally? Like, what would be a good finishing position for you in playoffs?
Oh gosh, I think top 4 would just be astronomical, but I mean, we're definitely shooting for the stars. We're not going to give up there.
That's great. Wonderful to hear. I think, Dryad, unless you've got another question you want to ask, after a 2+ hour broadcast and play session, I think it's fair that we let Andy go back and finally lost some steam. Andy, before we let you go, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to or anything you'd like to say on broadcast?
Oh yeah, huge shout out to my team. I mean, I think that even throughout that map, we improved so much. It's just unreal seeing specific players in our team, like especially our tanks, like they just popped off so hard, and I just could not be happier about their comms and their play style overall. It's just awesome. So
Great. Well, Andy, again, thank you very much for joining us. Please feel free to go and blow some steam and celebrate with your team.
Thank you so much.
And for the rest of you joining us on the broadcast today, I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in. Always wonderful to have your support. And of course, there is plenty more ECAC action coming at you over the next few weeks. Of course, we've got a couple more weeks of group stages for some games. We're into playoffs for others, and we are at the pointy end of the bracket. The games only get better from here on in. So from myself and from Dryad and everybody else here on broadcast, thank you once again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Jeez, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only